nothing but charge.
Yep. All right, so get this rolling. I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, because a couple of us are kind of tired.
And I need to actually remember what this character does. Because I built him like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And haven't gotten a chance to play him since then.
Don't want to be that kind of guy, but at the same point, like, if we're 10 minutes into the game and we don't have people who are responding at all to being in chat, I'm going to poke Erwin and see if he can join.
Well, I mean, then will be another 20 minutes while Erwin joins.
Yeah.
That's how long it takes Erwin to join.
Wow.
True, but if he's present and having issues, that's different than just not being present.
At least he can get on the chat faster than he can get on the Roll20.
Yeah, if he loads Skype and then gets on to chat at some point, then great, but...
Yeah, he can talk while he's getting set up.
And don't worry, Charity, I can do a not absolutely horrible amount of damage with a melee standard action.
That's good. Oh, hello. We have McQuinney.
Oh,
Haha!
okay, he's trying to join. Okay,
Success.
at least he's saying something.
Are you there, McQuinney?
Hello.
Hi, excellent.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Cool deal. All right, everybody, welcome to Chult 2. This is called Beneath the Canopy. So, the beginning of this is going to be a little bit different because we are jumping straight into this from doing the first one. So what we're going to do is, for a session today, I'm going to move people around just slightly, like so. And what I'm going to do is, and have the three people who are here in the Chult 1 session do their introductions and kind of give a briefing to the party members. So the beginning of the session, what will be happening is they come back from the jungle from Chult 2, or from Chult 1, and once you guys get back to the edge, there's going to be some stuff where I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of an intro. So what I want to do first is, actually I'll just do the intro first, and then we'll do the explanations and introductions of whatnot. So coming back from what's going on in Chult 1, a couple of the members decided that really the bugs in the jungle were way too big. This is just not something they want to deal with, or a couple of them I think wanted to head off and find a Church of the Traveler in order to make an offering to try to test their luck with their new boon that they attained. And because because Dakshin, who is the head of this little town, was someone who did pay well, they called in for some guild reinforcements so that they were able to help Dakshin by escorting the people escorting them to go to the mines. Dakshin has hired the three of you guys as you return from the jungle, since you have solved this wonderful problem, to head out with the miners in the morning, and has invited everyone to a feast and to spend the night in the village, and that's where the other three people will be joining as well. So we're going to begin today in the village on the island of Chult. For those three of you guys that have not been here previously, a man named Dakshin approaches you at the guild. He is very, very dark-skinned. He's human, has kind of crisscrossing scar marks on his body that are very pale compared to his skin. He also wears a metal collar around his neck, and on that collar there's a bunch of pieces of twine that have, like, one looks like a rodent skull, another one looks like a piece of a tiger's eye, that kind of hang as ornaments. He's fairly plain, and he is paying for the adventures that are already there and for the three of you guys to come along in small, very well-cut, very high-quality emeralds. And it has said that they need an escort for the miners to get to the emerald mines to give up their offerings to the wise masters. So where we'll begin off, and when we're doing introductions, will be the feast in front of the fire, the night after Drax and Poe and Charity get out of the jungle. So Drax and Poe and Charity, do you want to give your what summary the three of you guys would give to three newcomers for what happened last time and kind of any information you feel they should know for the journey tomorrow to go deeper into the island of Chult. And then we'll do introductions after that.
Okay, well, Charity would start off by explaining that we were hired by these totally weird, creepy cult dudes who worship these wise masters. It's seriously disturbing. They're drooling all over them. They really want to get out of here, but they kind of pay a lot of money, so I guess we'll stick around. But stay away from them. Don't trust them. They're definitely up to something. Anyway, there was this temple that was being destroyed by some Sahagin doing a ritual, probably, and they're the good guys. They're trying to bring down these wise masters, so we're joining them, kind of. But we're not getting paid by them, so we're sort of joining these guys, but that's her description.
All right, Poe and Draxon, do you guys have anything to add?
Hope will add that whoever the Sahagin worshipping is apparently some really dangerous monster, or at least a god, who might end up biting us in the ass later.
All right.
Yeah, and so Draxon, as Charity was saying, wise master, wise masters, he was doing the air quotes for them. Yeah, my interpretation is slavers, but I'm a little more blunt than others. And yeah, there's also dinosaurs roaming the land randomly, it seems, and we managed to. I think we slayed one. Okay, no, we didn't, but we could have if we really wanted to. But yeah, she gave a good rundown. These wise masters are. What did we figured out they were Yuan-Ti, or however that's pronounced. Yeah, however that's pronounced. Yeah, thank you. Those things, and we fought some Kuo-Toa, and we made friends with Sahagin, and it's just a really weird situation going on here. The good people are the evil people are good people, and there's some mad, crazy god who likes to adventurers to do adventure-y type of things in the world, and he just likes what's the word I'm looking for? I guess he's a big trickster. He just wants random acts of stuff to happen. So I don't know.
Oh, and he almost killed me and then expected me to swear fealty or something. So he's kind of messed up.
So when you guys get to the island, and this is the part where I do the kind of introductions for everybody else, it is a little bit after nightfall. The villagers come out. Everyone in the village is very quiet, very subdued. The only person who kind of goes around talking to people is Dakshin. Dakshin speaks Draconic quite well, and will have a lot of interactions, I think, with Poe, and the other person who spoke Draconic.
Poe and Draxon.
Okay, yeah, so Poe and Draxon.
So both of us are here.
We'll talk to them. If any of you guys also speak Draconic, he will, happily kind of converse with you. He does attempt to speak in Common sometimes, but it's very broken. And the other people in the village kind of avoid really doing much with you all. You will notice that nobody in the village is very young or very old. Although the races have different ages. A 20-year-old elf is different from a 20-year-old human. Basically, everyone in the town is, if you put it into human terms, roughly between the ages of about 20 and 50. There's no people that look like they're, too far past their prime, and there's no kind of adolescents or younger in the town. And so what I want to do for descriptions today is first give me a description of kind of what your character looks like, kind of who they are, and then I want you to describe to me kind of mechanically what your character does. And then the third thing I want from you is how your character would interact during a feast where they're kind of laying out a big table of food, and most of the people aren't really talking. Dakshin will be the one that's kind of talking for most things, but they don't seem like they're unfriendly so much as just not really used to outsiders. So, Draxon, you are first.
Oh, I'm first. That sucks. I put myself in the wrong place. So I am a big burly hobgoblin who is actually like a bit of a snob. Um, but he's not a warmongering hobgoblin. He loves reading books. So people who've seen him, he's always sitting in the tavern with his books around there. Um, he was first introduced to the guild because he was tinkering around with some devices and things he was just putting together. He's kind of like MacGyver, you know what I mean? As our artificers are, we just put stuff together and imbue it in energy. And he opened a portal into the guild's basement, which, for those who don't know, is filled with mind flayers. So luckily, he was saved. Mechanically, like I said, he's a hobgoblin artificer. For the most part, I use magic weapon a lot, so it'd be near me as I attack to give some good bonuses. Recently, I picked up multi-class cleric, so I have a few extra heals than I did before. That's about it. What would I do during the feast? Talk to. In this feast, I would probably just eat some of the food, drink some things, and be mostly talking to either Doc Shin or that elf guy I already met before.
Okay.
Just talking mostly about history and knowledge type stuff. And that,
Dakshin will kind of happily talk to you about whatever you want to talk about, although you can tell really easily that it gets filtered through sort of his worship of the wise masters. Kale doesn't really talk to you that much, although he will congratulate you for going into the jungle and coming back out alive.
Okay.
Poe, what are you doing?
What Poe doing? Well, Poe is going to try to entertain.
Well, again,
the feast
this is
guest.
First. Who are you? What are you
Yes.
mechanically? And then what are you doing during the feast?
Poe is a little Kenku birdman who has purple feathers around his head and has sucker marks on his beak. He grew up in a thieves guild, and after running with a mind flayer, is now a scion. Mechanically, he is a shaper scion, which means he excels in moving people around the board and summoning up minions. As what he would do at a party, I think he would try to make people lighten up and basically just do party tricks with his Kenku abilities, like shape-shifting into various people and mimicking sounds to try to entertain them.
Okay. Sounds like fun. Charity. You can tell that the people in the village get a little bit more comfortable with you kind of the longer the feast goes on. They don't seem like they're opening up too terribly much, but you become less of a thing to be avoided and kind of are a thing to kind of watch for entertainment purposes. So Charity, you're up.
Yeah, Charity was dying of the plague when she was given an offer by a powerful ghost guy that, oh, you can have eternal life and power and not die right now, but you have to serve me forever. And she said yes, and she's kind of bitter about having to do that, and so she doesn't really approve of anyone trying to make people serve them forever and worship them. She looks all spooky and ghost-like because his power is infusing her soul and such, but it's not really her thing. Mechanically, she is a mage wizard who puts people to sleep and then coup de grâces them for 12 damage, so hopefully other people can help with that this time. Just generally lots of control. And during the feast, she is going to be staying away from the feast because she's sure that there's some kind of drug or enchantment or something in the food, and they're trying to make us wake up the next morning tied to a sacrificial altar or become mind-controlled servants of the wise masters. So she's staying outside the town, eating her own food and glaring at the townsfolk because they're all evil and stupid.
Gotcha. Tinker.
So Tinker doesn't really know that much about himself. He's a Warforged, but he's very gangly, considering how bulky Warforged normally are. He woke up in the guild's basement, strangely enough, about a week ago. No one's sure how he got there. He's not sure how he got there. His only memory is that he spent what felt like several years with what he can only refer to as the people, who dubbed him Saurelian. He has no idea what that means, but he has a hammer that he made with them that, as far as he can tell, is made of pure gravity. He doesn't know how that works.
Nice.
He is not willing to admit that he does not know how that works. But so he joined the guild because it seemed like a good... First off, he was there, so he felt he owed them for him being there, and also it seemed like a good way to get around and try to find out where the people were, or what the people were. He's had very little luck with that. Mechanically, Warforged Artificer, I have a very high con, so I tried to get a pretty good AC for a leader, so I'll probably honestly end up being our frontliner, which is a bit scary. Same general deal as Draxon, and stand near me, I can give you buffs. I'll be more about throwing out temp HP. I don't actually intend to use the heal unless I absolutely have to. Because my temp HP giver is just better.
Okay.
I have Mark of Storm, so I'll be sliding people around. And as far as what the hell Tinker is doing during the feast, well, the idea of a feast is kind of confusing to someone who doesn't eat. Oh yeah, and I'm a Hammer of Gond Artificer.
Yeah, because everyone must praise Gond, whether they
Yes.
want to or not.
I don't know who Gond is, but he seems like a chill guy.
Cool.
As far as what he's doing, he'll probably ask a few people, like he'll try and give a basic description of the people, and when he finds out these people know nothing about the people, he'll just kind of sit in his corner, probably be used by Poe as a ventriloquism dummy at some point. Because he's just kind of tinkering with what looks like a third arm coming out of his shoulder. Or that he seems to be building.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not particularly the social type.
Alright. So, Big John, you're next.
Alright, well, Big John may be the tallest halfling you've ever seen, which still isn't much for a halfling. Carrying an even larger staff that many would not believe he could even wield properly. And he's a generally lightly encumbered fellow. And mechanically, Thief has the feats to both use a staff as a small character and use staff with sneak attack and such. So he gets his reach and particularly likes to use the proning trick in conjunction with backbreaking staff now to leave enemies dazed and prone a couple times a fight. And as far as what he is doing during the feast, well, first, just completely obsessing over the food and all the different options, and deftly using his large stick to carefully retrieve any items that are out of hand reach, balancing them very gracefully on his staff, possibly amusing some of the onlookers, and then pretty quickly he'd notice Draxon and Poe there, who he'd adventured with once or twice before, and go and see what they're doing here.
Alright. And Hekon, what are you doing?
Hakon the Hammer is, let's see, he is a mole barbarian, so quite a tall fellow, but doesn't live as long. That's how it balances out apparently. Which is okay. There's a lot of blood being pumped up and down, which is why dwarfs live longer. That's his logic anyway. But yeah, Hakon the Hammer he's eating, drinking, and being merry and loud. And he's the type of guy who, when he finds out that these people don't understand him, he's going to be talking even louder and making big extravagant gestures and pointing at things and laughing. And not really understanding why they don't just speak common. They should learn that. It would be easier.
So, while many of the villagers do seem to kind of shy away from you being kind of a big and loud person, Duckshin seems to be enjoying your presence and is kind of drinking one for one as you drink. And the stuff that they have seems to be some sort of fruit wine that is actually relatively potent. And you can tell as Duckshin is kind of carrying on and talking with you during the feast that Duckshin really doesn't hold his alcohol very well. Maybe he does not drink very often.
I appreciate his spirit, though.
So he, kind of laughs and is talking to you guys. I'm going to move you guys over to a splash screen, ideally.
Oh, one other thing. I'm pretty sure I've partied with 3 of you before, at least. So that's
This
nice.
is very green.
It is very green, yeah. Well, I find that the green color is a little bit less offensive as a background than having it be the pure white. So you guys are at the village. There's a big bonfire that's going on. That's kind of a little awkwardly far away from the village. It's not so far that it's outside of the edges of the village, but it's far enough that it almost seems like it's the barrier of the edge of the village between the village and the jungle. So on the island of Chult, and I'll give you guys, there's a map here, and if you ever need to see the map again, if you open up your journal entry, you go down to Gary's Adventures under Chult, you'll see the Chult map. Where you guys are located is, if you see the letter R in Ruins of Mesra, the first R, and you go straight down from there on the other side of that little peninsula that juts out, there's a little kind of darker mark that's where the waterway kind of makes a little bay, kind of juts into the land. That's where Duction's village is. And he has explained that where he's going to be going is the Peaks of Flame to the south, which is where the emerald mines are located. And he kind of explains to everyone that we will be going to the mines in the morning, but for now we party. We praise the wise masters and everything they have done for us, and for the gifts that they have given us, and how we are able to serve in such great ways. And he's, kind of tottering back and forth, having filled himself with a little bit more drink than he is able to handle. As the evening kind of goes on, and you guys, some of you all have food, some of you avoid it like the plague. You see the fire on the edge of the village start to die down for a moment, and then roars to life. Are any of you all trained in Arcana? I believe at least the Artificer is.
Yes, the Artificers are.
Poe
And
is.
so is the Wizard.
Cool.
Poe is trained in Arcana.
So
So is the Silent.
the large group of people that are here that are so what was Big John again mechanically? Rogue? Thief?
Yeah, thief.
That's what I thought. Okay. So the four of you that are trained in Arcana can feel a swell of energy around the fire as several of the embers writhe together and form into a creature. You can see it looks very similar to this, although it does not have a sword, and instead of being made out of scales, it is made out of bits and pieces of debris with embers, as this snake-like creature folds its way out of the fire and kind of writhes back and forth. Those of you guys that are trained in Arcana can tell that this is not like a teleportation or something like that. This more looks like a sending, or this looks like some sort of ritual that there is someone else is projecting this here. And as the thing kind of rides its way out of the fire, Dakshin smiles and turns forward and says, "Ah, the wise masters!" And everyone in the village plants their face on the ground. Everyone bows down, lays prostrate, except for Dakshin, who kind of totters over towards the fire. "Yes, yes, masters, must all be praised to you and have the things that we have because of you, and excellent tidings to you." And he's kind of winding his path up the hill, going towards the snake creature. Can I get passive insights and passive perceptions from the party, please? Also, I need to know, are we playing at AL6 or are we playing at AL8? Looks like an AL8 party to me, but want to double check with you.
With level 5s, it's a 6.3 average.
So it's up to the party. So type into chat whether you want to play level 6 or level 8. Okay.
Hakan, don't be Erwin. Don't follow your heart.
So we've got 3 people that vote 6 and 1 person who's abstaining, so that means 6. So looking at passives again, those of you guys that have better than 15, so looks for insight, which looks like it's going to be Big John and Poe. You will also notice as well, and so will Draxon. The fire creature does not look happy. And you can also tell that Dakshin doesn't really seem to notice that the creature does not look happy. So, is anyone doing anything, or just kind of watching Dakshin totter up the hill towards the fire creature?
I suppose Big John will be like, hey, stranger, I don't know if you noticed, but that thing doesn't look too friendly.
He
He knows not of this guy.
he kind of looks towards you and says, this is of course friendly. It's one of the wise masters, and they take care of us. And he kind of thuds a wooden tankard against his chest, splashing some of it onto his jerkin. I have done great services for the masters. At which point you hear the snake creature hiss and start to speak in a very weird kind of sounding draconic. Sounds like it's echoing weirdly. And he says, "You have done us no services, Dakshin. These creatures, outsiders to our islands. You are trespassing here." For those of you guys that can speak Draconic, you can hear him quite clearly. For those of you guys that can't speak Draconic, the tone of his voice comes across very well. When he says that, Dakshin just looks kind of confused. So what I would like to do is, this is not for combat initiative, although I'm not saying you can't fight this thing. Doing for just to make sure that everyone has a chance to participate in the roleplay. So if you guys would put yourselves on initiative order. And Poe. So again, this is not a skill challenge or anything like that, so you are not required to take an action. This is just to make sure that everyone has a chance to speak and that no one kind of gets steamrolled over while everyone else talks. So Poe, would you do something as the creature is talking towards Dakshin?
That's a kind of a tough question. I was hoping that Poe would be able to knock Dakshin out and pretend to be him before he got up there, but since he's already talking to it, it would get kind of messy. So I think Poe would try to use his own powers to figure out how far away they're casting that spell from.
Sure.
I guess that's an Arcana check, right?
Yes, very much so. So you can only kind of sense the edges of the spell. You don't sense any sort of feeling of magic of someone nearby. So this is not something that, there's someone hanging just inside the tree line casting it. This is something that's being casted from a pretty long way off, although you're not exactly sure how far away it is. So you can sit and take a moment to kind of investigate the spell and see what they're trying to do. Tinker, what are you doing? Or are you doing anything during this or just watching?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what's going on here in character. So, yeah, I'm not really going to do anything at this point. I know nothing about the background of
Big
this
John.
or this thing.
That's fine. Pass is perfectly acceptable.
Well, not one to let a seemingly drunken stranger wander into an angry fire beast. I'll try to appeal to him once more, especially after that weird, freaky talk it gave us. It's like, and you hear that? This thing is definitely not friend. It's like, you sure you want to go that way? Why don't you come back here where it's safe and have a little more drink? And, I guess, let's see, I forget which, did I have that trait? It's, bluff, not diplomacy on this character. But, I guess, maybe I'll also try to take advantage of his drunken state. It's like, come on, friend, we've been drinking all night. You want to come back here? You don't want any interest in that thing. You remember your old little buddy here, right?
Cool, sounds good. Try to get Dakshin distracted.
Yeah.
So Dakshin looks like he is very confused about what's going on here. Like, you've seen people who are drunk, they get to the certain stage of drunk that, like, something happens that is crazy enough to kind of sink in that, oh, there's something serious going on here, and they take a moment where they stop doing everything, including, like, breathing, and try to reevaluate their life and what the situation is going on around them. And in that state, they're kind of more or less stunned to the outside world. And that's where Dakshin is. Dakshin feels like there is something he's missing, and he's had to, like, restart his brain for a second, and the wheels have just begun turning again to figure out what's going on around him.
Mental blue screen of death momentarily.
Yeah. So, Draxon, were you doing anything during all of this? If you're trying to talk, you are muted, sir. I will delay him for a moment. Charity.
Okay, well, Charity is pretty sure that the fight's about to break out, whether it is with the Wise Master or with the townsfolk or something. But this looks really bad. So she is going to hop on Chloe, who I forgot to mention in the introduction. Yeah, giant spider she rides around on. Just a thing. And creep closer, getting ready for the inevitable battle, using her illusion magic to stealth up.
Okay. You can sort of tell that the creature's perceptions of things seems to be pretty bad. When it is looking around the village, you can tell that the creature, the fire creature, definitely notices the villagers. But when it kind of looks where you guys are standing, it sort of glosses over that you're there. Like, it's able to sort of perceive you, but it's having a hard time noticing you even when you're not trying to escape notice. And so, kind of stepping away, it doesn't seem to have any knowledge or it doesn't take any actions to show that it notices you're there at all. Tom, are you back?
Yeah, it should be.
Cool, I can hear you now.
Okay, like I said, that's Skype thing.
Yep.
Anyway, it just mutes me and unmutes me. Actually, that was funny though, 'cause I was going to say I'm going to hang out with Charity out on the outskirts of the village, and I started walking out there, and she's coming back in. I'm like, okay. So, it seems, so you're saying that the thing doesn't really notice us, except that we're outsiders. It doesn't seem to have extra
There's
knowledge of
there's something
what we
going
might
on
have
there.
done against them.
There's something
Okay.
going on there where it doesn't seem to consider you, or it doesn't seem to notice you guys as much. You might be able to make some sort of check to figure out what exactly it is. But the passive insights are able to notice that it doesn't seem to look at you guys quite the same way as it looks at the villagers.
Okay, I just kind of wander over to Kale then and kind of sit next to him and just give him a look like, I need to talk to you. Like, that kind of look like, nod my head to the side. I kind of need to talk to you when this thing's gone or something.
So Kale
So I don't want to. Yeah.
Kale glances up at you from the ground. He is actually laying on the ground, with his knees curled underneath him. His face is planted on the ground. His arms are extended forward. He kind of glances up at you, sort of acknowledging that you exist, and then turns his face back down to put his nose in the dirt.
Okay. Well, actually, while I'm there, I forms a semblance of the form. I don't dig my head into the dirt with my, but I kind of get down on my knees, just kind of like next to Kale, and keep glancing at him, just so he knows I need to talk to him.
Okay. Hakon. That might be Quinny, who disappeared again. So I will give. Actually, he is the end of initiative. So rather than continue to wait for him, probably going to give him a couple minutes to come back, and if he does not, I might see about replacing him if he's having kind of continual problems with stuff. So the Dakshin, as he's kind of standing there confused, the snake creature kind of again looks over the village, focusing pretty heavily on some of the villagers, and then looks back towards Dakshin. And you can see Dakshin, as he kind of finishes restarting his brain, kind of comes to maybe some sort of realization that something might be off. At about the same time that there is a pulse of magic from the fire creature, and Dakshin drops his little tankard, and clutches the collar that's around his neck. As the creature begins to speak, you guys smell this strong burning smell, like burning hair and burning flesh, as that collar around Dakshin's neck turns bright orange and starts to sear away at his skin. The creature says, Yimnam Dali Dakshin Ketsach Simoriash Letso Utsel Yorak Dikshin Bashiyo Kome Prosit. So trebak so ye dur kul cult kalkore manam. When he does that, he says it in Draconic. For those of you guys that speak Draconic, the way that he talks is very ancient. He doesn't speak in what you would say is conversational Draconic. You can definitely understand the words that he's saying, but it's sort of like if you guys have ever heard anything in Middle English, it's different enough that you can sort of tell what some of the words are, but it's old enough that the language has significantly changed. For those of you guys that can speak Draconic, you can get a kind of a summary of what he just said. And he says this. You have failed us, Duction. How dare you spit in the face of your masters, Duction? Your arrogance and your ignorance is unforgivable. You are banished. Let no child of Chult speak your name ever again. Duction collapses to his knees, with his holding his hands around the base of his collar as it sears really, really bright, and then you see a little white line, a crack appear in the collar, and the collar breaks into two pieces and falls off of his neck as he collapses to the ground. So, what is your all's reaction again to that? I'm going to give one round of reactions, and we'll go from there. So, Poe.
All right, Poe's gonna kind of memorize that little speech, and I think he's gonna run up to Duction and see if he needs any immediate attention to that neck burn he just got.
Okay. So you can see that that spot around his neck is he has third-degree burns in a circle around his neck. It is very much going to need attention. His hands don't look nearly as burnt as the rest of his body, even though he was holding the collar. And you can see, even as he's on the ground kind of writhing, he's holding the broken collar to his neck, like he's trying to hold it back into place. So if you want to give me a heal check or something like that, or if you want to kind of describe what you're trying to do.
All right, let's roll heal check.
We lost someone else. Okay. Quinny, are you having problems with your internet?
I'm back for now, but yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry.
Okay. I know Patrick just dropped, and I know different people are having problems. I just want to let you know if at some point you keep having internet problems, if you're gone for 10 or 15 minutes, I might ask someone else to step in. Not because I want to kick you from the game, just because I want to make sure that we can keep going.
That's fine, no problem.
So is it going to be a heal check as well, Poe?
Yeah, heal check.
Okay. So you can see that what is around his neck seems to be the collar had something that burned inward. So there was some sort of spell or some sort of enchantment on the collar that was intended to burn inward. The way that it has burned his flesh looks extraordinarily painful, but it doesn't actually look like it's going to, it'll scar and cause that sort of stuff. It doesn't look like it's going to be life-threatening. So it's not going to, if people get burned around the throat, it might close the airway or something like that. It doesn't look like it's going to do that. It's mostly just kind of burning the surface level of stuff. Very painful, not going to be very deadly. Tinker.
Tinker was Patrick.
Ah, right. So Tinker will delay until last. Big John.
Well, seeing Poe running up to take a look at this guy and seeing things looking at least not dire, and then big snaky thing is still over there looking mean, huh?
Yeah, he's about 10 feet away from Duction, and he has his hand sort of clutched into a claw where he gestured towards Duction, which caused the collar around his neck to burn.
Well, I suppose I'll just go up there also and sort of take up a defensive position, because he doesn't like seeing the biggins hit anyone while they're down. That's his job.
All right. Charity, what are you doing?
Did you say the collar broke up or something? Was I?
Yeah, so the collar got really, really hot, and then you saw a crack appear on the front and the back of the collar, and then it just broke into two pieces. And Duction is now on the ground, and he has each half of the collar, one piece in either one of his hands, and he has placed it back on his neck, and he's kind of holding it there, but it's very obviously still broken.
Charity just looks at the broken collar. shakes her head and sighs to herself and says, "Lucky bastard."
All right.
That's it.
Droxen.
Yeah, well, I was actually probably right behind Poe and running up to him to make sure that he's breathing, that his wounds aren't too bad. But I also kind of, well, yeah, I just kind of tell him to like whisper, like kind of low. Anyway, don't worry about it. Don't worry about that thing you called your master. He was just. I don't know how to break this to you. He wasn't good for you anyway. So, I mean, I'm just trying to console him in my really arrogant and blunt kind of way.
Gotcha. I will say that it's pretty reasonable to assume that unless you have a diplomacy check of just complete amazeballs, not a lot is getting through, but go ahead and toss me a diplomacy check.
Oh, no, I really don't, but...
Okay, cool. So, Hakon, what are you doing during this?
Well, this bastard, as far as I know, kind of just made a gesture and then hurt my good drinking body. So I threw a mug of ale at him.
All right. So you want to give me an attack roll?
Yeah, sure. I'm probably going to miss because I'm
you
drunk and I'm not very.
Yeah.
I mean, instead of a hand axe, which is strength, but I don't think we need to escalate to that point just yet. So I'm just going to roll a 1d20 plus 4. Is that okay?
Sure. You should ideally have something on your thing that's range basic attack. Even if it shows on with your hand axe, I'll just sort of ignore the damage roll. You can give me that attack.
Yeah, but because it's a hand axe, it's heavy thrown, so it uses strength.
Right, I understand.
Proficiency. So proficiency and expertise and so on.
Bugs.
Yeah, I'm saying for the sake of ease, just hit the RBA button.
Okay.
So it won't be the total 24 versus AC, but that's enough to kind of hit the creature. The mug goes and sinks into the very kind of spongy looking embers that the creature seems to be made out of, and sizzles a little bit. You see the creature's eyes light up, and when he does, you see a bunch of smaller lights kind of appear all around the village. You see that on each of the collars of the people around the village, a very small little glowing ember, about the size of a quarter, appears on each one of their collars, and you see the creature's eyes sweep over the village and then focus in your all's direction, like he's trying really hard to sort of perceive there's something there, and you see the tankard sort of sizzle a little bit into the body. He definitely noticed it. Tinker, Caladrith, are you back?
I just got back. Apologies for that. Interesting. So he definitely noticed the tankard was thrown, but he didn't seem to notice who threw it. So there's currently a broken collar sitting where, what's his name? Dakshin.
Dakshin is
sitting near him, right?
Yeah, he's holding the collar in both hands, and he's pressing it to his neck.
I'm going to try and analyze the magic on that collar.
Okay.
Or that sounds far more practical than trying to actually interact with people.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
I'm sorry, what's Arcana?
Oh yeah, it's not that thing. Although I think that's moderate, if I remember correctly.
It is medium.
It is medium.
So you can tell that when the tankard got thrown into him, the creature did something to basically tie into all the other collars in the village. And there is a low-level sort of something, you really don't know what it is, but some sort of connection that the creature still has with Dakshin, even though Dakshin doesn't have the collar anymore. But there seems to be a very significant and strong connection between this construct, or this creature, and the other villagers who are all kind of laying down on the ground. None of the villagers are kind of moving like they might be in pain, like Dakshin was, but you definitely feel that there is some sort of connection between this creature and the other villagers. I believe, Poe, did you go first in this round? I think you did.
I did.
Fascinating. I wonder if Matt would be interested in a set of these.
So the creature kind of sweeps his eyes back and forth. It seems like he sort of sees that there is something else there, and then he kind of calls out in this kind of snarl. Doesn't really say anything, just sort of a wordless snarl as the construct collapses and the big pile of embers falls apart on the ground. Dakshin looks up just completely horrified, and then he shrugs his shoulders, kind of holding the broken pieces of the collar onto his neck, and then shuffles forward, putting his hands into the glowing embers and kind of murmuring to himself, "No, master, no, please, I did nothing wrong. I live only to serve." And the rest of the villagers, as the embers die down, you see the marks on their collar die, and they kind of get up and start moving away from the fire. It looks like they're starting to just sort of break apart the feast, like kind of nothing happened. Again, not really in initiative order, so does anyone have anything they want to do? I'm going to pull things away from the initiative tracker for a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually approach him now that the big scary wise master's gone. Just grab him by the shoulders and give him a bit of a shake. Get a hold of yourself, man. You're free. This isn't a bad thing.
So, give me some sort of check to kind of snap him out of it. He's, very clearly crying, is extremely distraught about this.
I will try, but my mouse just broke and I need to plug in my replacement mouse, but I do have diplomacy. Stupid thing. I hate this computer. There we go.
So he kind of clears up for a half a second. Doesn't show any signs of still being intoxicated inside, at least. And he goes, yes, Dakshin is now free. I could be free person again to offer myself again to the wise masters. Yes, I could start over. And starts to kind of nod to himself, and he's no longer holding the collar against his neck. He's sort of holding the collar, the two broken pieces, holding it together in front of his chest and kind of nodding to himself, looking you in the eyes. Yes, I could do that. He's not speaking in common, he's speaking in Draconic, but again, I'm always going to assume that the people who are here in Draconic, that they are translating, unless you guys specifically tell me you are not translating for someone.
And Charity sighs. Oh, come on. Are you a man or a dog? Maybe you deserve to just be this disgusting boot-licking thing. Whatever. Walk off in disgust.
So there's currently a pile of I'm sorry, is anyone else gonna jump in on that?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's currently a pile of pseudo ash where the thing collapsed.
Yeah, basically as the big bonfire was starting to die down a little bit, the strongest embers formed themselves into this creature, which then came forward and then collapsed. So looks like the remains of a relatively messy-looking campfire are spread out in front of you, and spread out in front of Dakshin, who's got a good number of burns on his fingers from basically placing his hands into the glowing fire.
And his hands are now out of the glowing fire, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Tinker's just gonna go up and kind of poke around at the ashes. As he has fire resist from his background, so he doesn't really notice the fire that much. He's gonna be does this feel like any kind of elemental magic it might jog a memory?
Okay.
So just see if an Arcana can get me anything out of the ashes.
Yeah, and if you have anything that would give you bonuses for ritual checks, it would apply to this.
Having Ritual Caster does not count for that, correct?
Correct. It will lower the DC, but it will not give you a bonus.
Okay, I do have Ritual Caster then, because Artificer.
Cool.
Apparently, Tinker doesn't actually know what magic is.
So this doesn't seem to have. It doesn't seem to have any magical gears. It doesn't have the same sort of ritual casting that you're used to, where you do something and then you power. This seems much more old school magic. This is much more primal in nature rather than arcane in nature. This definitely seems like you have no idea how they were able to accomplish this task, but you can pretty much tell that there was no artifice used in this. This was not an item or something like that. This is definitely something that was done with a different type of magic than you're used to.
I turned to the party. It wasn't an item.
Gotcha. So,
Give him a thumbs up.
so Quinny, do you think you're going to be able to stay connected for a while in this game, or?
Honestly, I think you're probably better off getting another person, as much as it annoys me to say that.
Yeah, I'm sorry to
No, it's
have you
fine.
about-
I didn't expect this to be happening, obviously, but yeah. Like, I don't want to hold up the game, so yeah.
Gotcha. And again, I very much appreciate your honesty. It's definitely something that we appreciate a lot in the guild, that people are like, honestly, this is not going to work out very well for us, and I'm holding everyone else back. That's exactly the kind of attitude we want for the players to have. So I very much appreciate that. So
I mean, to be honest, it also helps that I can actually go to bed at a reasonable hour.
Hey,
So
bonuses for everything. All right. So is anyone else
good
doing
luck,
anything?
guys. Obviously. See you.
All right, thanks.
I think he just disconnected again.
I think that might have been him hanging up.
Maybe.
It'll probably amount to the same.
I'm gonna see if I can get the. So does anyone else want to do something? I'm gonna see if I can get Erwin in here to start the process of getting him connected.
I
So
guess
everyone take 20.
No, he's gonna be able to ideally be in Skype chat in just a second. But I can't remember how to. I don't know how to do the link thing once the call is started. I forget how to do that.
I can add him
have Owen
directly.
as a friend, yeah.
Yeah, I can't add him because Skype is being weird. So if someone else wants to add him, by all means. But it won't let me add him.
Done.
Thank you.
I had to do this with my friend because the browser Skype wasn't working for him.
So Big John is going to be confused about this whole situation. Does anyone else want to do something as you see kind of everything fading back and the villagers are now deconstructing the feast?
Well, I
Erwin?
guess Poe could try to recall if we can remember any other similar manifestations that have been recorded.
Okay. So still trying to figure out kind of what the ritual was, or are you
Yeah,
trying to
just
figure
like if he can recall, like, is there any similar rituals that I know of?
out? Okay. So is that? I assume that's a history check.
Yeah, history check. I should
So
have said that.
a 30 history will get you that there are lots of types of sort of elemental projections, things that you can project yourself or to be connected to a certain piece of elements that allows you to kind of pull an image of yourself over there. So rather than this being like a golem or a construct or something like this was more or less a hologram or something along those lines, using the embers of the fire to project what was likely pretty much exactly that creature to hear so that it could communicate. And with the 30, you can also know that in discussions past, there has to be something tying to it. There has to be some sort of focus for the creature to project themselves to. And with the kind of combination of the thing you saw around here, you can pretty reasonably assume that the collars, there's something in the collars or in the connection that they have with these people that allows them to project, which might also be why the creature didn't seem to have a lot of abilities to perceive you all, because none of you all were wearing the collars. So it wouldn't have been able to sort of interact with you all nearly as well, because you weren't part of the focus. You weren't part of the actual ritual. Even so, that the creatures, the other people here might have seen something completely different when they looked at that creature than what you guys saw.
Yeah, so based on that, assuming they're sharing their findings, Big John might shout out the rest of the crowd and see what their experience with this whole thing was.
So looking at the rest of the people that are there, if you want to go ahead and give me either a check or kind of, if you're trying to get their attention, I will say you very quickly notice that not only do they seem to be not paying a lot of attention to you all, but the villagers look like they are just completely ignoring Dakshin, like he just doesn't exist.
Huh. It's like, hey, you guys.
So you can tell that they are pretty much treating Dakshin like a leper. While they don't really seem to be treating you guys poorly, it's kind of like your outsiders and getting a little bit more of an exaggerated cold shoulder that you guys got during the feast. You will notice that there is one person that is not quite as standoffish as some of the other villagers, who is the only elf in the village that you guys have seen since you've been here. So while he is kind of going through the motions, you can see that Kale is not as obvious with his cold shoulders with you guys. He's still doing the same thing, he's still going through the same motions, but you can tell that he's also watching you guys. He's paying attention to what you're doing. So, as we've had someone that's had a bit of interaction with Kale, would you like to take it from there?
Yep, 'cause that's where I was actually heading. I was just typing that in. That was, like I said, I had already been near him, so I was just trying to get his attention, and so I kind of go through the motions with him, just in case something else is looking at us. I'm not really trying to be stealthy about it, but just try to like talk low, but as he's going about his business, like, okay, have you seen this before? What just happened? And how can we find these masters? Because I don't like what just happened.
So Kale, he talks kind of like he's talking to himself more than he's talking to you. And he says kind of in Elven under his breath, "Oh, it is a shame to see another banished, another one that is pulled away from us even after all that he has done. I wonder if he will be like some of the others and find a way to either completely free himself or bring himself back to favor." And you can tell that he's very much saying this for your benefit, but he's also clearly going through the motions of saying it under his breath to himself, so much so that you're probably the only person in the group that heard it.
Okay. So I wonder, and I'm going to talk in the same way, like, so I wonder how many other people around here would like to be free and not be in their favor anymore. Kind of like, trying to get him to react, see, is there a way to, does he want to be free?
So he kind of picks up one of the big bowls of fruit that was on the feast table and kind of walks away. He looks up kind of into the night sky and smiles wistfully and says, "Oh, I am so happy to be under the veil of the great wise masters, protected from all of the harms that would come to me from the outside world. I know even more than many of the people here, blind to the outside, what protections they do truly offer." He actually seems very sincere. And he kind of hustles and says, would I be in a different position and was not under their protection, if I did not need it any longer, I would travel to the ruins to truly free myself of what they had on them. And if I needed the protection still, would go to the ruins myself to reaffirm my dedication to them so that they would protect me once more. And he kind of walks into the village. And you can tell after he kind of says that last bit, he gets a little bit more kind of pep in his step. Like he goes from going through these sort of exaggerated motions where he's kind of clearly going slowly through everything to, actually cleaning up the festival, actually cleaning up things quickly and sort of putting his head back down, acting a lot more like the other villagers are.
Okay. Point taken. Thank you. I relay that information to the party, and I don't know. I think, well, I know what you want to do, Charity. You would like to, well, I would assume you want to help relieve others from this bondage that they have put upon these people. So it looks like the ruins is where this might happen.
Well, I wouldn't mind taking these wise masters down a peg.
Yep, same here.
So do you say something out loud about the ruins to the others in the group?
Well, yeah, when we're away from everybody else.
Mainly I want to know, is it something that you are either intentionally saying around Dakshin, or if you're intentionally saying it not around Dakshin?
Oh, no, around Dakshin also.
Okay.
I count him as one of us now, because he also can be...
So
well, especially since that information we got, he could be free, or we knew his service. So yeah, the ruins.
So he nods up towards you, kind of as the others are sort of tending the burns around his neck, and he says, "Yes, of course." He pulls at the cord that's kind of not like his belt, because he's got one big thing that goes over his head like a tunic rather than pants and a shirt. He pulls away at his or the cord that's one of the cords around his waist, and then he ties the collar, the broken collar, back onto his neck, kind of cinches it down to where it's not going to fall off, and says, "Yes, yes, the ruins. Yes, we could go to Mesro, and I could show that I am a true servant to the masters. I could start all over again." And he kind of clasps his hands down together and says, I would not survive the journey on my own, though. It is a dangerous place, the jungle. It is so dark, it is so scary.
I interrupt him and just put my arm around his shoulder and says, "I'll go with you."
So you see just, the tears that had stopped flowing from earlier start to flow anew, and he kind of buries his head in your chest saying, thank you. I can find some way to repay you, I can. Once I'm back in the Master's graces, I can pay you for this.
Oh, come on, look. If he wants to go, maybe this isn't such a good idea after all. I mean,
No,
it's going to
the
help out his
information I
cause in some way.
no, I don't think so. The information I got from seems that either way, he might want. Like I'm saying this to Charity, but on the side, not away from, not so Dalshin doesn't hear me. It sounded like, yeah, you can renew their freedom. I mean, his ties, but it's also a way to possibly break them free completely.
Can we trust your informant? What if he's trying to well, I guess we should go anyway.
I think we can trust him better than we can trust the rest of these cats. I mean, people.
So it's at this point in time.
I'm suspicious.
I want to take a moment. I was hoping we'd get to a slightly more natural break point, but Erwin, I want to give you kind of a quick. Have you done Chult 2 or Chult 1 before?
No, I haven't done any of them before.
Okay, so they're on a kind of primordial island which has like dinosaurs and jungles and crazy stuff on it. They were invited here to help this village go and be able to make it to the mine so they can mine emeralds to offer up as tribute to their masters. And while they were here, they found out during a kind of feast in the honor about how things had gone so well during the previous mission where they had cleaned away part of the path to the mines. One of the masters sort of images shows up and then banishes the town elder, who is the quest giver from the first mission, and goes through this whole process. So that should pretty much bring you up to speed, and if there's any other questions you have, I can kind of try to answer them without breaking the thing up too much. And the elder's name is Dakshin.
Okay, so it's this guy. Yeah.
I will put him on the map with you guys. There we go. There's Dakshin. So.
Okay, it's Valgar.
Yeah, I don't remember who. I did not make this token. Someone else made this token when they ran these adventures. So the question I have to ask for you guys, I'm not trying to interrupt you guys, pull you guys completely away from the roleplay, but Dakshin very much does seem like he wants to go to the ruins, and reaffirm his belief in the masters, or you guys might be thinking there might be a way to completely cut off the masters' influence from Dakshin. The question that's going to be for you guys is what's the next plan, or whether you guys want to do some more investigation. I'm going to let you guys do kind of more investigation of what you guys want to do, but kind of what I'm saying is the ultimate goal at the end of this roleplay thing is sort of seeing what the party wants to do next. It is dark. It's about 9 o'clock at night, so it's not like complete middle of the night, but it is pretty late. So the general thing seemed to be either to those seem to be the three options, and kind of if you have more questions, you want to investigate more, talk to Dakshin more, you guys can definitely do that. And I definitely don't want to kind of pull away anyone if you have something you'd like to do in the scene.
Well, how far away are the ruins? I asked Dakshin.
Dakshin smiles and says, "It is only on the other side of the marshlands. It's not very far, less than a day's travel. We could be there by sunrise." He seems like he's...
But But you told us traveling through the jungle at night is dangerous. Can you protect us in the jungle?
So he kind of turns his face towards the jungle, and you can see kind of a warring emotions on his face. Like he really, really wants to go now, but also he understands that he did tell you guys don't travel in the night in the jungle, and he says, "We, you are strong. You could protect us in the jungle. You did such great things. Well, I thought you did great things in the jungle before, but." We could travel in the morning, I guess. He seems very torn about it. Like he does want to get going right now, but at the same time, he does understand that it is much more dangerous in the jungle at night. Basically, the NPC is not being super helpful as far as making that decision for you guys.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. That from the people who weren't here yesterday with us.
Yes.
The three of us heard it's dangerous, and now he's saying let's go. But Charity does have a point about staying in the village. Is anybody else going to chip in?
I mean, it's hard to slit Tinker's throat, so he's not that concerned about having his throat slit.
Well, I'm changing my vote, to 1. So I think we got 2 1s and a 2 so far.
Yeah. So just to clarify, although I think I switched the numbers, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I did switch the numbers. I apologize.
Yes, you did. That's okay.
Sorry. So
Gary's trying to steer us.
wait. So which?
hang on. I'll correct it. Just to make sure. So ignore that second input and just go with this. So you either number 1 would be head there now. Number 2 would either be to stay in the village or stay near the village but not inside of the village until morning.
So new votes.
Yeah, I do need a vote from everyone real quick, and then once we kind of have
a new round.
Yeah, once we have everyone sort of taken into account, we can go from there.
Come on, 5s.
Tie the vote.
Come on,
Tie
5s.
Tie it up, 5s. Because then the highest level wins, and I decide we go now.
If you tie it up, then if you tie it up, then I can take a moment to go to the bathroom. Well, you guys
tied
can
up, then Tinker would have switched sides.
So definitely sounds like you guys want to head out. Dakshin is kind of gushing about how happy he is that yes, we are going to head out tonight rather than waiting for the morning. A quick question I want to ask you guys is what sort of vision do we have, or do you guys have light sources? Obviously, having sun rods and whatnot is definitely an option. But I'm curious as to what you guys are going to do as far as traveling in the night, as far as what light sources you guys want to have with you. So what I want you to do is kind of discuss if there's anything you want to do before you leave the town, or anything you guys want to do, before you go off into the jungle. Dakshin will tell you and will explain to you very much where the ruins are. For those of you guys who were in here last time, he will describe the ruins well enough that you recognize them from when you approached the island the first time. That enormous kind of destroyed city that you all saw along the coast as you guys were approaching, that's the ruins of Mesro, the sacred city. And you can tell roughly where it is. It's going to be a good maybe 10, 15 miles. It's a solid walk to get there, but if you guys can move quickly in the night and kind of get to where you're going, you could probably get there early morning if you go quickly. So I am going to take a moment to go to the bathroom anyways, because I didn't realize how bad I had to go. Be right back.
Yep. Oh, wow. Okay, so what is 5s for those people who don't know?
5s is a Deva invoker, real basic.
Okay.
But flavor-wise, she's a collegiate baseball player.
Yeah, well, we knew. I knew it had to be something from Earth.
Yeah, of course.
So invoker is you're a controller more or less, right?
I'm trying to lean towards
striking,
being a blaster, but I don't know. Still trying to figure it out.
Alright.
Invoker is all the stuns and dazes.
Well, yeah, I got that too, but I'd like to like shoot a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can do
Oh,
damage
wow,
with
wow.
this limited pieces.
Hey,
So
hey guys,
nothing like that.
a wild passive perception and passive insight arrived.
Yay! She's in front of the party.
So I'm back. So the question before the court is: you guys are heading off into the going to go to the ruins. I'll show you once again real quick what the map looks like. So again, where you guys are, if you look straight down from the first R in ruins, you guys are on the opposite side of the kind of peninsula that juts out. Induction is saying that the way to get there is through the marshes, which is basically a straight line due north, maybe just very, very slightly west from the village. And there are marshes between here and there in order to get to where you're going. The only other way that, well, I mean, there's lots of other ways to get there, but that seems to be Dakshin's way, where he would explain where he would like to go, and seems to be the most direct course to get there. If you guys are going to go that direction, the question I have to ask you guys is: you've got several people that have low light. Is this going to be everyone cracks a sun rod, we go walk through the night like a beacon to make sure we can see everything, or are you guys going to try to keep the light a little low and try to make your way quietly through the jungle and try to get there without being noticed?
Unless it stops, Tinker will crack a sun rod.
Phobos that we go quietly and with as little attraction as possible.
Same here.
You just not want to
can't-
meet that big thing from the couple days before.
Dark is scary.
Tinker.
And so,
Let's
to be,
get some
Tinker.
Jurassic Park.
there are definitely pros and cons to both ways.
Tinker does not take pressure well.
I don't believe I have low light.
He's young. He
so I
doesn't
don't know
have a
how
great
good
deal
my
of opinions.
Perception's gonna be.
I didn't hear pretty much any of that, Erwin.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I don't have. I have normal vision, so I don't know how good my passive perception's gonna be without any light.
You will
Yeah, we
take a
don't-
penalty in low light, but it's not going to be that bad.
You've got hearing and smell and touch and what's the
Oh,
taste?
nice.
Yeah, my
Like,
I
perception.
think if you're touching them, passive perception is no longer an issue, but sure.
Yeah.
Hey, they might be invisible and without odor and without sound.
And bumping
Okay.
into you.
Yep.
Yes.
As long as I can hear the velociraptors coming through the tall grass, then I'm good.
That's the other mission.
Oh shit!
I'm disappointed in that.
So, so you guys get ready to go. They would be Big John if you guys weren't going to adventure beneath the canopy. Oh, name drop. So, name of the adventure, by the way, beneath the canopy. So, in the jungle, not going to be able to see the moon and the stars pretty much at all. You're going to have some form of light with you all. So, anything else you guys want to do before you would head out of the village?
Are the primary inhabitants Yuan-Ti, or are they people like Dakshin?
They're people. The only Yuan-Ti that you've seen was the construct that came out of the fire. The people that are here
And
are,
I'll let him know that the masters supposedly don't look
okay,
around
I get
us.
it.
They're the masters.
I got it.
So, in quotes. Yes.
so the village is pretty small. It's only got about 100 people in it. Almost all of them are human. There's a couple of dwarves, and there is a single elf in the village as well. All of them are in kind of the prime adult age. There's no one that looks like they are, again, adjusted for the age of their race. No one that's over 50 years or so in human terms, and no one that's under about 18 in human terms. So,
Can I ask the Dakshin about that also? I never asked that yesterday. So I mentioned to him, I don't see any kids or old people.
so he kind of nods and says, "No, the very young and the very old. The young are protected by the wise masters, and the old help serve the masters in raising the new generation. It is how
Oh,
things
so
are."
they might be at the ruins too. Is that what you mean?
He kind of gives a strange look and says, "No, not
Oh.
at the ruins. They are in the
Ah.
sacred city of Comac.
Oh, they're in the sacred city. Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot about it. You did say that. Sure. Okay, let's go.
All right, so I'm hearing a whole lot of don't have anything you want to do. So you guys head off. As you guys make your way out of the northern part of the village, I do want to know, by the way, what light source you guys are actually using. Are you guys just bringing a torch with you guys? Does someone have an ever-burning torch? Is someone a wizard and is going to use light cantrip? Like, what's the overall plan here?
Yeah, I think torches sounds better than sunrod.
Okay.
Keep in mind, a sunrod provides dim light for 40 squares in every direction. So
Dim light.
yes,
Right.
it's bright light for 20 squares, and then dim light for 20 squares past that. So that means you've got a 200-foot bubble in every direction, a 400-foot wide, 200-foot tall area of light going through the jungle. If you crack a sunrod, it will be very noticeable.
That's too much. That's too much. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yes. So
perhaps just a miner's hat with candles.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the candle item doesn't seem to say how far it illuminates, just that it's dim light.
It's 2 squares.
Yeah.
There's a separate table for it.
So if you guys go with kind of candlelight, if you have very small things with you, that is something you can do, or you guys can have a torch, and torch is 5, 10. So 5 squares of bright light and 10 squares of dim, or 5 more squares past that of dim light.
Yeah, I think we just need to keep it kind of small, not like really, really small. I don't know. I have low light vision, so I'll be away from that a little bit in the front.
Yeah, I think torches.
Okay. So you guys head off into the jungle. Dakshin picks up a walking staff from his hut and carries it along with him. He, even as kind of the journey starting off, he seems pretty winded. He kind of had a full day of doing things and entertaining people before this whole thing got started, and then he got burned and, hypothetically speaking, at least partially healed. And doesn't even really seem like he's much of the adventuring type. He kind of manages the town more than anything else. And so he kind of looks tired as you guys are getting started, but he does huddle close to people and walk into the jungle. So what I need to know is who is sort of leading the troop into the jungle, because we're going to do one check to sort of navigate through the dark jungle, and then other people can use their skills to assist that person. So I need to know who in here is going to be the primary person. It is going to be a nature check. You can justify something else, and you can also justify things to help that are also nature. But nature is going to be the one starting. It looks like Draxon is going to be the one leading.
Unless somebody else says better than that.
What is nature?
It's what's around you.
It's that stuff it's around you.
Okay, so Draxon's going to be the one leading the way. So Poe, are you going to do anything to try to aid find your way through the jungle through the night? The goal of this challenge is to make it to the ruins without getting, without wandering into a monster's lair or, touching things you're not supposed to in the middle of the night.
Right. Poe's done this once before, but he's gonna try to reach out with his mind to all the critters that run around and see if he can peruse how to get to the ruins without stepping into anything big's territory.
Okay.
So that will be an Arcana check.
Nice. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to get to the description of what goes on with you a little bit later.
Okay.
So I will, if I forget for some reason in the next couple of minutes, you poke me, but I'm going to do your description last. So, Charity.
The tree is set up such that I could climb through the treetops on Chloe's back and see above them to map out with the way we're meant to be going.
It would be a little bit difficult to do that, mostly because where you guys are going is in a bit of the land goes out to that peninsula on a slope, and then the peninsula has pretty high cliffs going down. So where you're going is effectively into a valley with apparently a river in it. And so you could definitely go up there, but if you get above the canopy, you'll just see this one solid canopy of trees. It will be a little bit difficult to sort of orient yourself on the ground, but you can definitely do that, yes.
Okay, well, I'll do some of that, and also, I guess for my skill, I'll throw out some magic to scare any animals we get close to with my spook powers.
Okay,
Just get them to leave whenever we disturb them.
awesome. So I'm also going to have you go in the end, and I'm going to use those 2 rolls together to do something.
Oh my god.
So 5, so what are you
Oh
doing?
my god.
Well, I suppose I'll follow shortly in tow behind Draxon and just sort of, like I'm trying to picture how thick this jungle is, like on the canopy overhead. Like, is Draxon needing to machete through the foliage and stuff, or
It's
like,
not
what's going on?
quite that bad, but it's pretty dense jungle. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a description here in just 1 second. I'll give you guys a picture of what the Chult jungle looks like. Actually, that is an awesome picture. So, ideally, this is what this place would look like. So, if you guys want to pop through that link real quick, that's kind of what this place would look like, during the day. Oh, that is super unhelpful. That links you to a Roll20 thing. That's kind of interesting. That's kind of hilarious, though.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's try that. There you go. So the jungle is very, very dense. It's a fairly rocky terrain. There's a lot of waterways. There's a lot of little streams and things that crisscross through the canopy floor, as well as kind of big, gnarly roots from these enormous trees that are, maybe 2, 3, 4 feet across, and then 50, 60, 70 feet tall.
Okay, well, yeah, so I'm still gonna follow in tow. I'd like to just hopefully be able to give Draxon a second set of eyes to, like, in case, like, notice any critters that we might overstep our boundaries onto, or I don't know, maybe loose rocks, or like, what's this, like tree trunks or roots or something that he might, he's our light source guy, so I don't want him to fall down into whatever.
Gotcha. So making sure the path in front of you guys is clear. So in order to succeed when you're doing an assist, what you need to do is you need to get 10 plus half the level of the adventure. So you needed a total of 13, so you succeed by saying that you do it. You would even succeed to assist on a 1. Big John.
Alright, well, Jackson said that he'd let me take the lead on our exploration, and he'd back me up with his other abilities. So
Yeah.
I'll just be the one navigating on through with my lower perspective. I'd say I have an advantage in my trusty stick of poking.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'll be naturing away.
I don't know if you clicked the button. Oh, there it is. Took a little while to get through. That is definitely a successful assist. You kind of prod your way along. You go down the valley and into the swamp kind of area proper. As you are going down into the valley, you're starting to notice that the kind of the feel of the jungle changes a little bit from the extraordinarily kind of dense vines that are hanging down, all that sort of stuff, into being a different feel of the jungle floor as it gets into more of a swampy area. The trees start to space out a little bit more. You start to see light poking through the canopy very slightly, and you see lots more waterways and sort of having to go walk along the roots more than you're having to walk along through the paths. But it's fairly easy to pick your way through. Tinker.
Okay, so we've got some people watching for any complications that might be up ahead, but I mean, we still have to get through some of this stuff, and I'm sure this is a jungle. I'm sure not all the plants are venomous.
Yeah, if
I'm
you're not,
sure there's like,
guys, if you're not talking, could you mute yourself, please, Tom?
I'm sure there's like nettles and poison ivy equivalent and that kind of stuff. So Tinker is going to use the fact that he is one, a robot, and two, of particularly high fortitude, to try and just kind of get things out of the way
Okay.
and just endurance through things.
Touch all the itchy things with the part of your body that's made of all metal.
Yes, and get them out of the way so they don't touch my squishy friends.
Sounds good. Give me an endurance check.
You're fucking. This character is cursed.
So that is actually a failure, and you're like, I know exactly where to go, and you walk straight into a pit of quicksand, which, while yes, through all the itchy things, it is very helpful to have you there to not have itchy things happen to you. You are also significantly more heavy than your fleshy counterparts, and so you immediately sink into the quicksand, and it takes everyone a moment to kind of yank you out of it.
Don't worry, I can't die from this. I don't have to breathe.
So we can leave you there?
Please don't.
Tinker, please lose
Ow.
2 healing surges.
How many surges did you say?
2.
Damn. I still probably have more than anyone else in the party.
So, Poe and Charity, I will get into your thing in just 1 second, but Draxon, you want to go ahead and give me the nature check? You're going to be at a total of +5. 1,
Oh, no,
2, 3, 4,
Big John
+7.
was the primary Drax.
I know. We didn't get that in time. Don't worry about it, Big John. You still got an assistant. That's why I was trying to get off mute real quick, but it was too late.
All right, if you guys are
So
both
it's a
at
plus
10,
what?
it's so +7 on top of whatever your modifier is.
Okay. Okay. So it'd be +7 on this roll because I don't have a prompt for it. So
Okay.
34.
So 34. So you're able to make your way pretty easily through it, and with a combination of kind of stuff that's going on at ground level, you're able to see as the area is getting more and more swamp-like and more marshy. You're able to kind of predict where you're seeing the streams move into being bigger streams, and there is going to be a big waterway up ahead. There's going to be a river, and as you kind of notice that, Dakshin will say that yes, the black water is ahead. Charity and Poe, as you extend your mind out, you kind of feel like there's just something off about the area. There's very few small animals. There are still small animals around, but there's not nearly as much vibrant fauna as you would expect to find in this dense jungle. You would expect to find, if you kind of reach your mind out a little bit, there just to be a chaos, a riot of creatures there. Here, it's not. There's something missing, like maybe there was a big predator that came through, and as you kind of reach out more and more, you start to feel that there's something else. There's another presence in the jungle that's doing the same thing that you were doing, that's reaching out with their mind and sort of tinkering with things. You get this feel, this very light call, like something is pulling all of the small creatures of the area towards a location. And as you are able to figure out with the others who are working their way through the jungle, there's some sort of underlying mental projection that's kind of coercing things to come closer and closer, to come down to the water's edge, to come to the river. And you're not really sure what that is necessarily, but it has this really strong kind of inky, kind of squirmy presence to it that feels really wrong. Charity, as you're up in the top, kind of watching things and seeing things that are going on, as you're sending your magic out, you kind of see a little thing that's worming away along the treetops. You see a decently sized snake that thinks it might decide to try to prey on one of those small people on the ground. And as it sort of moves down, looking like it's going to, it's a bigger kind of boa constrictor, it's going to move down to kind of grab the halfling and see if the halfling is edible. You spook it for a moment, and it kind of recoils back, and then jumps and starts to go very quickly towards the tree, and then you see it vanish. As the light kind of goes up there, as you look over towards where the creature went, you see the first part of the snake, as this kind of 20-foot long boa constrictor, went into this little pocket of darkness. Its head went into the pocket of darkness, and then the rest of its body fell limp, and then kind of fell out of the tree. And as you look over towards to examine the light, you see that underneath one of the branches, there is this thing that looks like a little fluffy cloud. Only that little fluffy cloud is this inky darkness that doesn't seem to reflect the light at all. It's so non-reflective and so kind of blacker than black that it's sort of mind-bending to look at. Like it kind of makes your head hurt to look at this thing and think that I know that there's something there, but there's just void. There's nothing that's there when you look at it.
Okay, that's suitably worrying. Does it look like there's just one of these voids, or can I see more?
So as you kind of look along the trees, you can see that up ahead where you guys are going, there's more and more instances of these little clouds. None of them are down by the bottom, none of them are on the floor level, but through the canopy you can see these little pockets of pure darkness, these little fluffy clouds of midnight are tucked into the trees, tucked into the canopy in dozens of places. And as you guys look further and further down towards the valley in the direction you guys are going, you can see that the trees are starting to look a little bit different. That the color seems to be drained from them, and the roots of the trees and all the way up into the treetops themselves are stark white, like bones rather than trunks of trees.
Okay, I'm gonna get out of the canopy and down to ground level. Are we gonna keep on going, guys? I guess we probably should.
So I will say that from the collection of checks from you guys have done excellently on this part. You guys will, if you continue to go down in the valley a little bit, you can more hear the river off in the distance before you guys can see it in the edge of your light. But the river doesn't sound quite right. It sounds a little bit too subdued. And as you get a little bit closer to the kind of tributaries, you can see that the river seems to be covered in something. The trees that are down by the water's edge have this kind of white, stark, bony look to them, and the water itself doesn't look quite right. It does reflect light a little bit, but there's like an inky blackness on top of it, like there's some sort of coating on top of the water.
Can I roll religion to see if this is related to one of those gods last time? Either, I guess, was it the Devourer? Sounds likely, or the Traveler?
Sure. I'm gonna move you guys over a little bit.
Ooh.
Onto the map. And one thing I do want to do. Let's see if I can get this to actually do correctly. Aha. Oh, wow, that still shows. Great. So what I do want to do, ideally, Roll20 will stop freaking out for a second for me. And I'll direct your attention over here to the bottom left. So if you look in the bottom left, you can see a couple of the trees still look normal, kind of like normal tree trunks, but you can also see that several of the trees are these stark white boughs. Like, it looks, again, like bleached bone. And the coating on the water is this very dark black kind of inky thing. Charity, your religion, looking through things, you don't feel like this is something that seems like something you had seen before. Doesn't look like any religion that you're familiar with, but then again, a lot of the sort of night religions, kind of the darker presences, have a theme. Everything is black and dark, and that's kind of a whole category of religions. Sure, and I will say that while I did put you guys on the map up near the top, you guys have kind of seen a lot of the stuff coming from a good long way off. You do see that there is one of the more normal-looking trees that has fallen across the river, but you're going to be seeing a lot of the stuff that's here, kind of at the edges of the water. So, just again to make sure that everyone has a chance to do stuff, if you guys would pop yourselves into initiative again, then move you guys on the map, and it's easier for you guys to go on initiative than for me to add you guys manually. Chloe gets added to initiative.
Behold, my highest roll of the night.
Oh, right, I selected the wrong one when I did the roll.
It's all good. We'll know that that's you. And again, this is not in any particular order. Poe, you can notice as you're getting closer to the water's edge, you're going to be first, that whatever that feeling, that kind of slow pull on the surrounding, it gets stronger as you get close to the water.
Does it feel like what the Sahagin were worshipping?
No, it is not. It feels like the Sahagin seemed like it was was very predatory. It was something that was kind of mean and out of the corner of your eye. This feels like wrong. There's a very strong sense of wrongness in this magic. The other thing seemed evil, but it felt like normal magic.
Roll a history check and see if he can recall any other reports of strange black clouds.
Wow.
Want to roll tonight?
All of these 20s. Y'all are going to just face plant in combat. I can feel it coming. But I will say that you can know from histories that the combination of what you were told above, of those little black clouds, of there being this weird kind of nothingness above, as well as that with the feeling that you can sense, that strange magic of that compulsion that you feel in the air, you're pretty certain you know what those two things together mean, and it means outsiders. So aberrant creatures, things like mind flayers and other sorts of aboleths, other sorts of kind of I'm trying to remember, aberrant creatures is the creature type. I'm trying to think of a better example, but yeah, the creatures that are outside of the far realm was the word I was looking for. So creatures from the far realm would have magic that feels like this magic, and would have the same sort of things where it's not just darkness, like creatures from the Shadowfell would bring darkness with them, but absolute darkness, like there is nothing that exists there, a void.
And now I think Poe would start at least getting a bit of a tingle, because he might not remember it, but he did meet a Far Realm resident before.
So you're with a combination of things. I would say that you'd be able to read a history about aboleths. And aboleths are a creature that tends to be near waterways. They tend to do things where they either enslave particular people, or they will kind of do mass things where they will control lots and lots of little creatures, or they will try to control the minds of bigger, intelligent creatures. And you feel relatively certain that this fits the sort of bill, that there might be an aboleth or a similar creature that is in that river. So that is the information you get, and I assume Poe shares with. So Fives,
Yep,
what are you doing?
yes.
All right, given what we just learned, I'm on my toes. I'm feeling a little strange. Could I use? Let me see. I guess my what would it be called? Like, I guess intuition. Clearly, everyone's uneasy.
Mhm.
Obviously, something is after us. Like, could I sort of get a feel like maybe something is swimming around unseen, like with insight, perhaps?
Yeah. So one thing I do want to say is that kind of pause. That I'm going to definitely keep the roll, all that sort of stuff. I want to kind of draw back for just 1 second and say, so you guys have this information that in that river there's probably an aboleth, or at least that's what Poe believes. With that taken into account, what does the party want to do about this? Are you going to try to sneak your way around it? Are you going to try to go over and just be on your toes? Are you going to try to find it and deal with it before it finds you? Are you going to try to find some other way through here? Like, what is the group's sort of plan? I want you guys to take a minute to kind of discuss what you guys want to do with this knowledge.
So
Well,
I do have a question about the map.
Yes.
So you said this is a tree that's fallen across the river,
Yes.
and this is the crossing of the river?
Yes. And to be clear, you guys are not on the tree yet. You guys are on the shore, kind of on the northern side of on the top part of the map.
Okay, the thing that's confusing me a little bit is the fact that there are trees on both sides of the fallen tree. Are these trees, like, in the river?
Yes, the water does not look like it is probably very deep. And there are trees that are in the river that kind of, if you think of mangroves, where the roots are sticking well above the water, and then you have the water that's kind of working through the roots.
Okay, that was just what was kind of throwing me. I'm like, why are these trees in the middle of a damn river?
Think of the waterway more like you would think of like the Everglades or like a swamp than it is like a forest.
Okay, that explains that setup.
Do we have a rough idea of about how far to our destination and how long until daylight?
So you guys made your way really, really good time through the jungle. It's probably around midnight, maybe slightly after midnight. And you guys are about halfway there. You're maybe a little bit more than halfway to where you're going. And Dakshin will say he knows kind of where to go, and he would also say that he would be the one that would kind of direct you to where this fallen log was, and explain that he had been told by their herbalist in the town where this log was to cross safely to the sacred village, to the ruins.
We can send Dakshin across first as bait.
We could send Charity across first as bait.
I don't agree with that plan quite so much.
Well, whatever we do, we can't just let a horrible monster fish like just rip holes in reality.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious. Is it worth rolling another check to see if we get any more information on aboleths, or did you more or less give Poe the full set?
Yeah, I mean,
It sounded like you did.
As adventurers, you have heard of aboleths before. You have some vague idea of what they are. You know, they're a popular enough creature in kind of the story of the world that you've heard of what an aboleth before. You've heard it's something about the far realm. Without kind of seeing it, you wouldn't kind of work in a monster knowledge check. If you wanted to do a straight up monster knowledge check about aboleths, you could do so, and that would be a dungeoneering check to do a monster knowledge on aboleth.
You see, the thing is, you say that, and I always felt like they were like the third iconic aberration after Mind Flayers and Beholders, but they never ever have come up in anything I've ever played.
Yeah.
And Tinker continues his streak of not knowing jack shit about anything.
Yep.
Someday you will experience the joy that is double digits.
I did on this initiative check. I rolled a 13.
Woo. Oh wow.
So yeah, I mean, what's the plan, guys?
I mean, it's just a big psychic fish.
I'm really not joking about sending Dakshin across first. I mean, he's the one who's all enthusiastic about this. If he gets across safely, then we're probably fine. And if he doesn't, we'll rush in and save him, I guess.
You sound very enthusiastic.
Well, you know, I get it. I mean, we'll have the drop on it because it'll be attacking Dakshin first.
I could summon one of my minions and have it cross.
No, that's more valuable than Charity.
It also might not trick the aboleth if it's just a magical construct. Dakshin's a real person as far as we can tell.
So I do want the party to vote so we can start having this discussion.
Tinker will go first.
All right, so
he might not count as a real person.
So the goal here is to go through the crossing, but then to go in some sort of order or to do something else. So place yourselves on the log where you guys would like to be. Dakshin, unless someone forces him, he's going to stay towards the middle. He's going to stay around 5, who I imagine is staying kind of closer to the light source.
By the way, do we have like a distance, like the maximum distance we can go this way?
I'm going to be doing stuff in a second, so
okay.
Give me just one moment to do a. I want you guys to place yourselves kind of how far you guys would expect to be while you're crossing, and then once you guys are set up, I'm going to move everyone as one and kind of go from there.
And Tinker will be a step ahead of everyone.
All right, so as this is going on, you guys are going to get up to here, and as you guys go forward across 5s, you can sense that there's something not quite right. There's something just a little bit off. While you don't notice anything physically, Tinker's kind of mood and mindset changed very slightly, like there was something else going on. And Tinker, you feel a little weird. I will say that as far as character concerned, you guys are able to, actually let me see. Yeah, so actually you guys got to the same place. So you're able to perceive that there is something in the water here. 5s, you basically, as Tinker stepped into close enough to be affected by this thing, You are now close enough that your passive perception is able to perceive that there is something there. And Tinker, this is what you hear. You hear little whispers of a language that you're not entirely sure what it is as you enter into a creature's aura. And I'm going to have the initiative track cleared, and you guys are going to roll for initiative.
Do I take that effect before initiative starts?
No, you're aware of the effect, but you're not suffering from it yet.
Okay.
Basically, this is the benefit of...
Big John jumps in.
Big John jumps out of the water. Woo!
Shark attack.
A problem with trying to click the button for initiative and then the token actions overlay the token.
I'm back to single-digit rolls.
As is Poe.
Also, have no fear standing near me. My basic attack is completely useless. I haven't taken IBM yet.
So, that is what's going on.
The fuck are these?
As you guys get a little bit closer, you see that when creatures come out of the bits of the branches that are sticking off to either side of the great tree trunk, these small rodents come out that look incredibly not emasculated, emaciated. There's the word I was going for. They look incredibly emaciated and like paper thin almost. And their body is covered in a thick layer of this black sort of inky substance. Some of you may have seen this substance before, some of you may have not. There might be a dungeoneering check from people once we get around to them, or a nature check would also work. Fives, you are, however, up first as you feel this presence of something underneath the waterway.
Okay, so seeing Tinker's reaction, it would be safe to assume that if I moved forward, I'd be subject to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'm going to let everybody know.
And you can also be aware that he is at the edge of it. So you saw him when he stepped into it, effectively.
Okay.
I.e., one space behind him, you know, is clean.
Okay. Let's see.
So I think that's about the aura. Probably a little bit off, but...
So the red box on the map is the creature. It is concealed. It has total concealment. It is not hidden.
Oh. We have...
There is no red box.
Oh.
Yeah.
How about I put that on y'all's layer? On the plane?
That'd be real helpful, thanks.
So let's try this again.
Yeah,
See, what I was...
You see something around here.
Oh, hey. Well, cool. The creature's there now, too. I'm batting, you know, batting 1,000 for this. But I guess I'll just leave him here now that I actually put it there. And I'll delete the red box. Go ahead, Fives.
Okay, so he's still concealed though, right?
He is totally concealed, so he is invisible. He's underneath the water.
Okay. All right, well, I will move up. I'm trusting you, Tinker, to have a crappy MBA.
Finally, Tinker can deliver.
Okay, I'm going to attack the two vermin to the left.
Okay. All right. So the 27 will definitely connect, and the 15 versus reflex will not connect. Is radiant damage?
Yep.
Does not seem to be especially effective or especially ineffective on the creatures.
Okay, and ooh, that's kind of all right. That'll be it for me.
Oil Blood Vermin will scamper up, and then it is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sure. So he'll run up to here, and he is going to bite at Draxon. 22 versus AC with the infected bite. Jackson, you there?
Well, that is my favorite macro I've read in a long time.
Right. So this vermin is going to move in charge. 7, 6, yep. Move charge. 32 versus AC, which I believe will connect, for 13 points of poison damage. Tom, I assume that hits, but you now have a lot of background noise. And Charity, you're up.
Yeah, this is all very awkwardly positioned. I'm just going to delay. I can't do anything right now.
Okay. Which means I have more vermin. We go to here. And he's going to charge 5s. He's going around it to not provoke.
I mean, doesn't really.
He rolls horribly and fails. Big John, you're up.
Alright, adjust the map so I can actually get my token here. So, 5s did hit the couple and did a little damage to 2 of them already, right?
One
Yes.
of them, yeah.
One of them. Oh, yeah, miss the other. Alright. Since they don't have numbers, it's hard to keep track of which ones were which.
He hit the blue one.
Yes.
Alright, so I'll keep things going on that one then, and use my tactical trick to get combat advantage against things next to my allies, and scoot 1 forward with that, and then bash that one on the head.
All right, whack it on the noggin.
Oh, that's a pretty pathetic roll.
That is, I don't believe, going to connect. It is not.
Alright, well, that's sad. Oh well, that'll be it for the moment.
All right. Other vermin is trying to figure out what blast formation is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can he skitter? Nope, he can't get past. So he's going to charge up on Tinker. They seem like they're not really that interested in attacking the tin can. And he misses. The Whisperer is going to swim to the edge here. And then he is going to surface, so he no longer has cover or concealment. And he is going to... Oh, I just skipped Charity rather than delay. Let me know when you want to come off delay, Charity.
Yeah, probably after Tinker.
Okay, well, I will put you after Tinker, and then we'll kind of go from there. He's going to surface. He's going to look around. Big John, you've got the light source, right?
I've got candle
torch.
hat. I thought it was Tinker or Draxon that were carrying a torch.
So who's got the torch? Thought it was Big John, but it might be someone else.
I think it was Drax.
I thought it was Draxon too.
Okay.
Oh.
So it sounds like it's Draxon unless he says it's not.
I don't think it would have been me, but it's okay.
I can be carrying one. I have a spare
Yeah,
hand,
yeah.
so sure.
There we go. You got the free hand.
Cool. So,
I mean, it's
No. Yeah.
so Charity, if you're the one carrying the light source, that means you have something coming your direction.
Yep. No.
As it attempts to ensnare you and fails.
That targets one dazed creature.
That's true. It does target a dazed creature, so I need to do this first. And so he's going to target Charity and Tinker. The first attack is against Charity. The second attack is against Tinker. It horribly, horribly misses on Charity, and 20 versus Tinker.
That will connect.
So you take 6 points of damage, and you are dazed till the end of this creature's next turn. And it would attempt to dominate you with a 14 versus will and fail.
Yes. Yes. 14.
Yes, 14 fails, and the daze is the combat advantage is already taken in because of the way I have that macro set up.
Okay. I was gonna say the combat advantage would actually make that hit.
And then he had the double attack. Sorry, so he could have done his 2 basic attacks. So the first one's going to be at Charity and Tinker. The second basic attack is going to be at.
Pointing?
I'm sorry.
The action pointing?
No, he's not. So the thing that he should have used was flailing tentacles. I just hit the wrong button. So he uses flailing tentacles, which gives him 2 basic attacks. The first one's the range basic, which hits 2 targets, and the second one's the melee basic, which is going to be against 5s and Big John. Actually, it's 5s and Draxon. So
That's
Draxon
true.
first. Nope, it's only 1 target, so I'm a failure. So 16 versus AC, Draxon, probably a miss.
Yeah, it's a miss.
These macros are very old, and I apologize. So now he's actually going to action point. And he is going to do a close burst to targets creatures. So that's going to be Big John, 5s, Tinker, and then the 2 Oil Bloods. So 17 versus Big John, 26 versus 5s, 23 versus Tinker, and 16 versus the Oil Blood, and then he needs 1 more roll. He natural ones. So he's going to miss both of the Oil Bloods, and I think he's going to hit a couple of people. So everyone in the burst takes takes ongoing 5 psychic as an effect.
I become bloodied and activate Steely Resolve.
Okay. And the area around this creature, the surface of the water erupts in fire. It almost looks like the fire is burning off whatever it is that's covering the surface of the water. And it will end its turn. Vermin over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over there. And then he is going to charge up here to Draxon.
I'm going to come after this.
Okay.
So.
He's going to crit Draxon for, looks like 16 points of damage. 16 points of poison damage to you, Draxon. And he is going to end his turn. Charity, you're up.
Right. 5s and Tinker, do you mind being slowed when you're already adjacent to people? Hope not.
Don't mind.
Go ahead. Just don't put me to sleep with all your frickin' save penalties.
No, it's fine. I'm going to... I can't draw the box properly because of things, but it doesn't really matter. Let's do Phantom Foes on that.
All right.
So, technically, you guys have to make saves or I can redirect the target of your attacks, but I will let you just hit the person you were trying to hit in the first place.
Oh, and Gary, can we have action points?
Yes.
Those would probably be useful.
I will do so in just 1 moment.
Also, I have a Skull Mask, so as long as the enemies can see me, they take an extra -2 on their saves against this.
Would you pop in the wording?
Yeah. I don't have it macroed, but it is...
Or you can just
enemies
type
who
in the
can
name
see-
of the ability. Or the name of the item, sorry.
Oh no, I'm having the roll 20 thing. There. Enemies who can see you take -2 to saving throws against fear effects.
Okay. Because you guys can tell that the Chasm Whisperer doesn't look like he can really see much of anything.
Blind sight still counts as
Yeah,
seeing, if
it
that
does.
helps.
It does. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was saying. Depending on how it was worded, but it has blind sight and will be able to see that stuff.
Alright, cool. And having done that, I'm going to just back up a little bit and end my turn.
All right, Draxon, you're up.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I don't like this thing. Alright. Punishing Eye.
Okay. All right.
So, does Tinker need to be healed, or did you kind of bounce back pretty well?
I'm just above bloodied and I'm dazed, but from what Gary said, these things don't want to go for me. Because
Yeah,
they
but
don't
you
like
only-
metal.
Yeah. Oh, and 5 is kind of Well, I'm not taking my chances. I'm actually. Ooh. How did I get a pile of doo doo? But I was action
Oh,
pointing.
that's bad.
I have action pointed, so I'm going to. So that. I'll hold off on the minor for now. I am going to. Who? Tinker. Okay, Gale. I get Gale Force Infusion on Tinker. It's a burst around them, so I'll be attacking these creatures. I don't have any modifiers right now. So, each enemy in the burst.
Okay, so do you have a way to not provoke an attack? Like,
Yeah, I have staff expertise.
okay, cool. So that's going to be a 32
1,
on the
2,
Royal
3,
Blood,
4.
a 25 on this guy here, a 14 on the big guy, 27 on this guy, a 15 on this guy, and a 17 on this guy. So you're going to miss the big guy and this guy here, and
Okay.
I think hit, well, yeah, I think hit everything else. Let me double check defenses.
Yeah, so
Oh,
slide
no.
him.
So you crit this guy. What's your crit damage?
Oh, yeah.
Roll up your bonus as well. So 11 plus 12 is 23 points of damage. He is now bloodied.
Do I try to slide him? So if they slide off, they gotta see. Yeah, I'm gonna try to slide him off the thing anyway.
He goes into the drink.
Okay. I hit him also, right?
Yep.
With the 25. So.
He's also bloodied.
Okay. Miss. So hit. Put him in drink. And I missed the other two, or did I hit the other last two?
You hit the very last. No, you did not. Yeah, you missed these two. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought you
And
hit
I
this
missed.
one, but you didn't.
And I missed that guy. All right. And I guess on my minor. I'm still gonna hit Tinker with it. I'll give you a resistive formula. That way you can choose to do whatever you want with it.
Okay. The AC bonus for that won't do it. Moment.
Yeah, so it gives you the +1 AC.
Not right
And you
now.
also have resist 2 against all for now, until the end of my next turn.
Fascinating. I already have resist 2 to a couple of things, but it stacks because Akanol.
There you go. So I could move now that I moved them away from me. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna move up a little bit. So I can take I'm a big guy. So that's the end of my turn.
By the way, resist all does not stack with Akanol.
I thought Akanol. Oh, right. If you get specific resist attacks.
Tom, could you mute yourself, please?
That's annoying. I'd have to figure out a different background then. Drax is done, I believe.
Patrick, are you not near your mic right now?
Like I was actually just mumbling.
Oh, yeah.
And okay, and it's my turn.
Yep. Actually,
okay.
Yeah, it is your turn. Hang on. At the end of your turn, Draxon, you need to either take 5 psychic damage or make an attack against one of your allies. Tom?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I'll take the 5 psychic this time.
Okay. Tinker, you're up.
All right. Well, I have people next to me. Draxon, let's see if I can give you and 5s a magic weapon. I'm going to swing. Have either of these two taken damage?
No.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to swing at the one beneath the punishing eye.
Okay.
No attack mods, +5 damage from the eye. 24 versus AC.
We'll definitely connect.
21 lightning damage, and he can go take a swim.
Roll me a 1d2. Okay. He lights on fire when you hit him with a little bolt of lightning. He is now bloodied.
Does he get put out when he gets slid into the drink?
No, actually, it does the opposite thing. It lights the surface of the water on fire.
That can only be a good thing. Well, that is my turn because I am dazed. Dazed, which means... and I popped the resistive infusion immediately for temps.
Okay. Would you either take the aura damage or make an attack for me, please?
I am taking the aura damage.
All right. Poe, you're up.
And take Draxon and 5s. You get +1 power bonus to hit and +4 power bonus to damage until end of my next turn.
Sweet, thank you.
Hey, I am going to try to hit these guys of a dimensional scramble.
When you say these guys, oh, I see them. Those three that are there. All right. So an 11 versus Fortitude will not connect. The 21 Fortitude will connect, and the 23 will also connect. Did you add in the damage too far away from punishing eye? So
yeah.
So it's 10 points of psychic damage. One of them is now bloodied. That was not bloodied beforehand. The other one is more bloodied.
And I guess move the guys I hit more to the left.
So here and here?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else from Poe?
I think I'm going to throw out a thought servant just in case. And then that will be my turn.
Okay. So you need to either make a basic attack or you need to...
I'll take the damage.
All right.
But I want to point out that I'm going to spend an aug point on the thought servant.
Okay. So at the end of the round, there are now fires that are starting to spread across the waterways. And I will see if the fires spread. One of them putters out. This one down here, the smaller fire. The other fire, on the other hand, let's see if this one putters out as well. Absolutely not. It does not putter out. So you move over here. So the fire gets larger in every direction.
One to the log.
Yeah, is the log catching fire?
It is. There is fire on the log. The log is not going to burn through. It is far too thick to burn quickly.
Okay, but there is fire across the top of the log.
Yes, there is.
Fuck.
5, you're up.
Okay, I'll move over here and let's see. Gonna do a burst one. Let me get the little thing going.
When you move out of the square, one of the Whisper's tentacles is going to come out and try to slap you.
Okay.
Also, you're slowed and the aura is difficult terrain, so you can only go 1 square.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I didn't know you were slowed because I don't see that marked, but that might be a thing.
Oh yeah, from Phantom
right,
Foes,
Phantom
everyone is slowed.
And he succeeded, unless he has more than a -1 to his penalty, he succeeded. You would need a lot more.
-3 total, because Skull Mask. Oh, unless it, so it can't see me from where I am.
He can see you.
Then he's taking a total -3 penalty to saves.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's gonna.
So he +2, -3.
Right. Yep. For elite. Okay. Sure.
Where am I slid to?
So he is going to slide you, attempt to slide you into the fire. So I need for you to make a saving throw for me, please. So you go to leave the square, and he smacks you.
Oh!
And you get drawn into the fire. And you also take wildfire damage. Is 10 points of fire damage.
Okay, crap. I'm bloody. Okay, well, either way, I guess I probably shouldn't have moved, period, since I have staff expertise, but...
Not being in the fire would have normally been a nice thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's see here. If I could get my fucking thing going. Hey Gary, would you mind grabbing my dude?
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
Okay, encounters. I believe it's the second one, Thunder
Lightning's,
something.
Lightning's Revelation or Thunder of Judgment?
I'm
Let's
trying
see.
to remember which one's the burst. I
Lightning
want to say
Revelation
it's
is a burst.
okay. That one, combat advantage no, attack bonus 1, damage bonus 9.
9?
Yeah, 4 from
Magic
4
weapon.
magic weapon, 5 from
And
punching.
5 punching eye.
Got it. With you. I was just wondering why it wasn't 11, but it might not be that type of invoker.
Crit 103. That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm feeling that
2D
crit's off.
It
Oh.
was 2D 109.
I'm gonna
That's
go
actually
with
pretty bad.
I'm gonna go with that's supposed to be 2d10 and not 2d 109. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know every build, but I'm gonna say probably
yeah,
that.
it is.
That's actually a really bad crit roll for 2D 109.
I also am gonna need you
Yeah, it is.
to whenever you're able to function in the game, I would like for you to roll me a 1d2, and I would like for you to roll it 3 times, please. So that is going to be a miss on the vermin, a hit on the big guy, and then actually, other way around. So miss on the big guy, hit on the vermin, and I think also so a hit on one of the vermin, and he dies. Well, he's not.
Wouldn't book order go vermin, big guy, vermin?
No,
That's what I would think too, right? One?
book
two?
order from the top, because Chasm Whisperer,
The pink box is the one that we want.
right, but book order doesn't change because you put something in its place. It's always the same order.
Oh.
So this is the highest guy. This guy, this guy, this guy.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I've usually done it based off the area they were in.
I always do it from top to bottom, so it stops. So the answer is 100% always the same, no matter where you put the bunch or what you do.
Cool.
So the lightning bolt hits the water and ignites the water a little bit. It also ignites one of the vermin, who is now also on fire, and creates a little patch of fire, which is not going to have a chance to grow. It's not touching the water. And then the one in the water does not further ignite it. Cool. Anything else?
Okay. Yeah, and then I'm going to fire on, I guess, same order and same targets. This will be a follow-up attack with the action point.
Okay. Thunder Judgment. So 17 is going to miss a. Let me make sure that it misses. I think it does. It does. A 29 is going to hit, and 27 is also going to hit. That is going to be a dead vermin. And 2 dead vermin in point of fact. So all the vermin that were on fire are now dead.
Sweet. And then so what was going on with the slow? Is this a save ends as well?
No.
No.
Okay.
It's until the end of Charity's next turn.
Okay, saving against the ongoing psychic.
Okay.
Still got it.
Cool. And then you end your turn. You can either make a basic attack against Tinker, or you can take 5 damage.
Can it be a melee basic attack?
Any kind of basic attack.
Go ahead and swing at me. You'll probably miss, and I doubt your damage is particularly high, even if you do.
Now, if he crits, he's got that 109.
I might knock you out with that 109, man.
Yeah. So he misses. And Oilblood's turn. So the Oilblood is going to skitter up out of the water. Click the move button. Skitter, skitter, skitter. Well. Doesn't really want to attack Tinker. Because Tinker doesn't taste good. So he's just going to attack Drax.
Hobgoblins don't taste good either. Oh.
He's at a -3, correct?
Yep.
Oh, he misses then.
He
No, bite yourself.
So he is going to do that 27 against himself, which doesn't really do much damage. It does hurt a little bit, but doesn't do enough. Doesn't do a lot. And that's going to be it for him. This other one, let's see. He's going to skitter to there. It's as far as he can get. And then he's going to attack. And then he's going to see if he saves. He does successfully save, so that 28 is against Drax.
Okay, so 28 straight up.
Yeah.
Okay, that hits.
But the other one was also straight up. It was whether he got to attack you is all.
Oh, okay. Is that how that was? Oh, okay, okay. I thought it was okay. Oh, that bloodies me.
All right, so 12 points of poison damage, and that'll be
No.
it for him. Big John, you're up.
Alrighty, so the Chasm Whisperer is dazed.
1 second, let me make sure. Okay, cool. The Chasm Whisperer is not dazed. I don't think the Chasm Whisperer was hit.
No, I missed both of my stuff on him.
Oh, I didn't get either of those. Okay. So that just determines which combination of things. So in that case, since he's not otherwise granting combat advantage, I will use my calculated acumen as a minor action. Actually, start of turn, because of my next slot, I'll make a save against the ongoing psychic before I actually ever have to take it. Nope, so I do take my 5 damage. Then the calculated acumen, and what vulnerabilities, if any, does it have?
Of the Chasm
Chasm
Whisperer?
Whisperer, yeah.
So where's the vulnerable? I'm missing the. Oh, calculator. There it is.
Yeah.
Learn the vulnerabilities of the creature and grants counter advantage until your next turn. So he grants counter advantage. He does not have any vulnerabilities. So he's not specifically vulnerable to any types of damage.
It never hurts to know. And then move action for my unbalancing trick, not actually needing to go anywhere. And then I'm going to make this a backstab with my melee basic. So +5 to hit total with combat advantage and backstab. 5 from the backstab and 5 from the punishing eye for 10 extra damage total. Well, at least marginally better, hopefully enough.
It is indeed 24 points of damage.
Alright, so here's sneak attack, and it's dazed and prone.
24. And the daze and prone is coming from backbreaking staff. Gotcha.
Yeah, well, dazed from backbreaking staff, prone from unbalancing trick.
Alright.
And then end of turn, I'll just take the 5 psychic because my basic attacks would really hurt.
Alright. Chasm
It's only
Whisperer.
Doc Chin.
Yeah, Doc Shin, it stays the hell back with things. He spends his first action and only action to just run away. He's not up on this whole fighting squidlies in the night. The creature is going to start his turn by attempting to Superior Will, and I don't think he's got any penalties to this daze, unless I'm mistaken. So he is not going to be dazed any longer. But he is prone, has other stuff, so he's gonna, to right himself, he's gonna swim up a little bit. He's also starting in the fire, so he is going to take wildfire damage. Ooh, he is actually gonna take some damage. And you guys become aware of a trait as the thing kind of swims up out of the depths from where you just kind of plunged him down. Little bits of the fire races across his skin and ignites into hot blue flames.
Well, I guess I'm not going to use burning weapon on him next.
Nice.
So he is going to use his double attack, and he is going to keep kind of lashing out at people. It's going to be the 2 range basic attack against John and against Tinker because he would like to keep people dazed. Ooh, that is me being terrible with numbers.
It's worth noting, I don't believe John is dazed. I believe he was using that to mark ongoing psychic.
Oh, is that what you're using, John? To mark ongoing
Yeah.
psychic? Ah, then he would.
Not super comfortable with all the different icon associations
That's fine.
for this yet.
So does 22 hit your will, John?
Yeah.
Does 20 hit your will? That's a more important question.
Let's see, I just leveled up, so 16, so yeah, I can't do much about that. So yeah, that's gonna get me.
Okay, so psychic damage, and you are dazed. His second thing seems to be working fairly well on some people, so he's going to do the second basic. It's going to just be a melee basic on the one that's next to him in his little area. So that is going to be not granted combat advantage. Oh, he needs to make a saving throw. I'm sorry. Is that Tom? Yeah, you need to mute yourself. The Phantom Foes, is that every attack or is that the next attack?
Oh no, it's only the first attack, so it's already done.
That's what I thought, but I didn't remember it very well. So against these, I'm granting combat advantage, but I do have a little bit of extra. So 25 AC against you, Erwin.
Oh, yeah, it's going to hit.
And I would like for you to make me a saving throw, please. He's going to try to drag you into the water.
Okay, I have a question about that saving throw. Since I'm knocked out, does it just happen?
No, it does not.
Ooh,
These
okay.
things happen
It would
at
have
the
been more
same time.
dramatic.
They happen at the same time, so...
Oh, actually, well, with that, he got hit for 25. I'm going to interrupt for the damage anyway. I'm going to help him out a little bit. Energy conversion. So you resist 6 of that. And
So,
hopefully that doesn't knock you out.
so you get knocked out, but your unconscious body has 6 temporary hit points.
It would still knock me out, but
Ah, alright. Oh well.
good effort, though. It was close.
Saving throw for me, please. Well, at least you got 6 temp, so it'll be harder to true kill you while you're in the fire.
Sorry, I didn't mean to click it.
Was my 10 something else, or should I do it again?
If you clicked a macro in your end and it came across as something, we did not see that. So you're either talking to yourself or lagging.
No, you're right.
Death.
You're right. Yeah, my bad. Oh, there we go.
So into the water.
You guys hear a loud splash.
And then he is going to try to pry his way into Big John's mind, because Big John looks like something that'd be fun to attack with. And he's going to natural 1 his attack against Big John's will. Chasm Whisperer is done. Blood Vermin, you're next. Oh, I act like someone else is going to take that off my hands for me. All right.
I will play an Oil Blood Vermin.
They suddenly run away.
He runs into the fray to try to attack Drax because that's the only target he can get to. So he is going to use his skitter thing, and then he's going to attack. 16 versus AC, and then he's going to see. Well, it doesn't matter either way. So he either attacks you or he doesn't. He doesn't hit himself with 16 AC anyways. So, Charity, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to Emerald Eye on the closest vermin. Then drop illusory obstacles on all 3 vermin.
Okay.
So this will be. They're all buddy, +1. An extra +2 on the first one.
So the 24 will definitely hit, and the 29 will also hit. The 14 will not connect.
Okay. Then I am done, and yeah. So these 2 are dazed and can't charge, so if you can move away, they just can't attack anyone at all. Yes, Draxon's turn.
Well, since they're both dazed and they can't charge, it's probably a good idea to move backwards 1. So I shift. I obviously don't move. Did you add 5?
You were in difficult terrain.
Ah, shit. Well, they're dazed, so only one get the opportunity attack on me.
Accurate.
Yeah. So I'll move back to. And did you add the 5 damage for the punishing eye?
I don't think she did damage.
To Charity. Oh yeah, it's not damage, right?
I can help you.
Yes. So I move back to here.
No, actually, it does still deal damage. Because it's not extra damage.
Oh.
It's a different damage source.
Oh.
Cool.
Oh, okay. Well, I could take 5 damage.
One of them will try to snap at you.
Yes.
And miss horribly.
Yes, miss horribly. That's good. Damn. Focus fire or kill the Chasm Walker. Well, either way.
Rats locked down forever. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're probably better at bursting stuff than me anyway. Except, I'm going to, on 5s. Sorry. Surge +3. You also happen to get resist 2. Okay, and the best thing to do is just magic weapon, the Chasm Whisperer.
Okay.
Oh no, I still have the bonuses because Tinker hasn't had his turn since then, right? Okay. Yeah, but I missed. Huh? Yeah, I missed. So.
You did.
I know.
Not by much, but you did miss.
Yep. I guess that's everything. 'Cause I moved minor. Yep, I'm done.
Tinker, you're up.
Okay, I'm not dazed this turn. So, not Draxon, fives. You can have a this. This, that'll knock me down to only one, healing infusion. And then I will go ahead and... Do I have anything other than magic weapon? No, I don't want to use burning weapon. I'm going to use my magic weapon on the Chasm Dweller. I'm not going to do the lightning damage this time.
Okay.
The macro is still going to say that it's doing lightning, but
That's fine.
actually, yeah, I'm just going to chuck it the thing. You missed, so you don't give me any bonuses. Actually, first I'm going to move up to be adjacent to Big John.
Okay.
And I'm just chucking a hammer made of gravity at the thing.
Yep.
Thing plus 5 damage.
The Hammer of God compels you.
That is probably going to be a miss.
It does unfortunately miss.
Okay, well then, in that case, I'm going to do a thing and action point, and I really want to hit this fucker. So I am going to Inevitable Strike.
Okay.
Never mind, no I'm not, because that's a melee attack. I could probably try and argue some bullshit about it being a melee weapon, just not being used for a melee weapon attack, but I'm not going to.
You can attempt
Don't need
to,
it anyways.
and it'll fail. So 17 damage. Does not seem to be resistant to lightning damage.
Well, it's not doing... I'm not doing the lightning because I've seen that can spark things.
Okay.
So yeah, no slide on that. And Draxon and Big John, you get +1 power bonus to hit and +4 power bonus to damage. Until into my next turn.
Oh, you're out.
Alright, I'm going to do everyone's favorite attack. I'm going to dimension... No, not a dimension scramble. I'm going to dishearten these... at least try to dishearten these guys.
I was going to say, I thought you were getting new powers.
By the way, Drax and Tinker need to either take your 5 damage or make a basic attack against against an ally. 27, 15. Does the 15 hit? I don't think it does. It does not. So the 27 and the 21 will both hit, and those will be 2 dead rats.
Yay!
Controlled to death.
Their minds just exploded. And I guess I can move my thought servant down here. Just in case anybody else dies.
Anything else, though?
That'll be for me.
I'm taking a melee basic against Draxon.
Okay. And Poe, either make a melee basic against the spider. Of course you crit.
I had to get a 20 to hit
And
him.
that's the only way to hit me.
I had to get a 20 to hit him.
Oh my god, thanks,
So you
buddy.
take 14 points of damage. It's
Do
your
you want to be slid anywhere?
it's your penalty for missing.
Do you want to be slid anywhere, Draxon?
So,
That was too good.
Poe, either make a melee basic against.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the damage.
Okay. At the end of the round, the one patch of fire goes to attempt to spread and see if it burns itself out, and it does, in point of fact, spread.
Glad I moved.
Ideally, this will let me delete it at some point, but Fives, it's your turn. There we go.
Starting my turn in the fire, what happens?
Begin your turn in the wildfire. You take 14 points of fire damage. Ow.
Holy shit. Okay, so I take the 5 psychic plus the 14. I'm at 1 health.
You might
thing
want to
you have
pop that
those
resistive
temps.
infusion I gave you.
Oh wait, I have that resist 2. Does the resist 2 also affect like everything?
Mhm.
It'll affect
What
the
was it?
ongoing and the fire.
Okay.
So you have 5 hit points.
Actually, let me. Yeah.
You might want to pop the resistive for
Or
temps.
can he pop the resistance in between? It's a free action.
It'll waste a bit of his temps because he'll only lose 3 to the ongoing. I suppose
Oh.
he could lose the actually no, yeah, he can take damage from the fire first, lose all his temps, pop the resistive, and then get hit by the ongoing.
If you want to do that, you
Okay.
can, or you can end with 5 hit points and a whole bunch of temps. Like all those options work.
The same way.
I think
All
we'll
the
go
same.
with-
Hey, I want to be
we'll
able
go-
to give him more temps.
Yeah. So how much temps was it? Like
Surge
surge?
plus
So
4.
Okay.
I didn't take Mark of Healing because I don't have any healing powers. People say there's this curative admixture thing. I don't know what it is.
I guess I'm gonna like swim to my feet.
Yep. So you take a minute to right yourself in the slimy water.
Yep. And is this slow still on me? What's going on with that?
The slow's gone.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck. I'm not gonna provoke from this guy. Or I don't know. Can I shift like onto the? Probably not, huh? Shift onto the log.
There is no shifting in this.
difficult.
Difficult terrain.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
difficult
yeah,
terrain.
That's right. Okay. Crap. Oh, double crap.
It might legitimately
Okay.
be a good chance to second wind or something similar.
Nope, we're going down, guns a blazing. I'm gonna fire on this vermin and the chasm, bro.
Okay.
Nothing was included on these bonuses, so I don't know what it is.
It looks like a miss on the Chasm Whisperer and a hit on the little guy, who is going to summarily die.
What about like a 19 versus reflex?
19 reflex is going to connect, actually.
Woohoo!
So 15 points
For
of
20 damage. 5 for the eye.
15 points of damage.
Oh, he doesn't take. Okay.
Might be
Oh yeah, it would be psychic, right?
the giant brainfish might be resistant to psychic.
Yeah. I realized that. I was like, wait.
I'll save against the psychic damage and I guess just marinate here in the flame.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Big John, you're up.
Alright, so I get the starter turn fire damage for how much? Is it
Do
variable or
indeed.
fixed?
It is variable. 15 points of fire damage, sir.
Alrighty, owie. And I'll try again to make my start of turn save against the ongoing psychic, thanks to my amulet of psychic interference. It doesn't let me do anything about the daze. No, apparently I like that ongoing psychic. And since I'm dazed, I at least still have combat advantage against him from my calculated acumen last turn, so just a regular old bonkin. Combat advantage. 5 damage from the eye. And, well, there's a solid hit at least for a little extra sneak attack on top. But no other effects on this one.
Alright, so 24 points of damage.
Yep.
He is now bloody.
And then end of my turn, I will take the 5 psychic because I would do way more than that to someone else.
I was going to say, you also have the option of attacking the summon
Your shard. Yeah.
if you want.
No, the thingy gives us second winds.
I'm not saying it's the but it's pretty sturdy, is what I'm saying. If you wanted to attack it,
This is an E-class striker.
it's pretty sturdy. But yeah, so the Chasm Whisperer, he has a thing on him, which I don't think he actually has anymore. Oh, he is starting his turn in the fire. Does he take fire damage? Yes, he does. This thing happens. It does not stack with itself, but it does trigger to be the end of its next turn again. It still has not been able to dominate anyone, so he's going to try that whole plan. I guess technically he's provoking from 5s, so 5s. If you would like to swing, to make a melee basic against me. So Big John coming your way for a 20 versus Will.
Alright. Well, unfortunately, that also is a psychic effect I can try and save against at the start of my turn.
Yep. The 18 versus AC is not quite enough to hit him, but pretty damn close.
Out of curiosity, why does that provoke? It's a melee 5.
Because I'm bad at reading. Actually, I'm not bad at reading.
Gary,
I
just trying to humiliate me.
I just didn't remember the
Do we
power.
have a preferred icon for Dominated?
Actually, the one you're using now, that one's fine.
Alright. I've got the head one I've got for days, the other one's for the ongoing, so I need something else for the Dominator or switching something around.
You're currently using the usual dominated icon for dazed and the usual dazed icon for ongoing psychic.
Yes.
So pick the thing for ongoing psychic.
Let me do this real quick. This is ongoing psychic.
There we go.
Yeah,
That
this
is
like
dazed.
Gary fixed.
And this is dominated. Because
Sure.
when you only had like one thing on you, it wasn't confusing. But you got 3 things on you, having them all be different things was getting a little confusing for the DM.
When he had 3 things and he was actually using other things, he was using the mixing of standard ones.
So he's going to go to here, and he's going to kind of flop himself up on the shore. He's now going to grant combat advantage because he's flopped up on the shore. And then he is going to explode in every direction with fire.
Rude.
So
If he drops Big John, the Dominate doesn't do anything.
yeah,
It's a 6 strategy. If we all die, the Dominate doesn't do anything to us.
so 16 versus the pet or the mount, 23 versus Charity, 16 versus Poe, 16 versus this thing.
Yeah, the false servant.
It doesn't have a name, so my brain's not working with it. Against Big John is 17 versus Reflex, which I don't think is going to connect. Well, it'd be too higher. 19 versus Reflex, which is still a big hit.
Oh, 21 reflex.
The
Take 7 damage.
28 is going to be against Drax, and then the 14 is against Tinker, and then this is going to be 2 less against 5s, but it doesn't care because it's 27. So, 22 fire damage on people that have hit, with some ongoing psychic damage mixed in there. Charity, it does not seem to notice when you took fire, as if it resisted all of it.
Oh.
You're now aware that he resists 10 fire.
Down goes Jackson.
Charity, you're up.
Okay, remind me, the MBA was untyped, right?
The
bad
MBA was
guy?
untyped. The bad guy? His MBA was psychic type.
Oh.
I'm almost positive. You have seen it, so you would know. And yes, it is typed.
Did it actually do psychic damage though?
Mhm, it did.
Why does Mind Tentacle do psychic?
Why does having your brain infiltrated with Mind Tentacle deal psychic damage? No idea.
Well, I guess I'll try to do this anyway. It's got a damage bonus, so that's something. I will action point. I will try to hypnotize. No, first I will do the thing called Glib Tongue. Then I will try to hypnotism it. That's actually should be 1 higher, 21 versus Will.
21 versus Will, I'm almost positive connects. It does in point of fact. And so he is going
Okay,
to
well-
punch himself with a +4?
Yep.
Alright, so he is at +8 on this attack.
Yeah.
And he's at +5 damage. So that is a 39 AC. And that'll definitely hit for 24 points of damage. That's probably. Where do you want him to be slid? Or do you want him to be slid?
I think we're happy with him where he is. Does anyone else have a suggestion?
I would.
As long as he's granting CA, that's cool.
You can
Yeah,
now tell he
nice and
seems more.
convenient.
He seems more resistant to fire than he is to psychic. So he has resist 5 psychic and resist 10 fire.
Alright, cool. Do I go for striking? Or do... no, I'm going to use my regular attack to Maze of Mirrors him, I think. Yeah, it's safer. Yeah, I'm just going to do the thing. Whatever.
20 versus will also connect.
Yay.
So -4 to attack rolls.
Yep. And then I will move up 4 out of the aura. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's my turn done. I'll roll some save.
Oh, so my daze from him would have been over since he didn't re-daze me, at least, right?
Correct. You're no longer dazed. Draxon, you're up.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm down, actually, but, so, let me see this. I want to see how, alright. I guess I can still do that to get rid of the ongoing psychic damage, and then make my save at the end.
You cannot. It's a free action. You need to be
It's
conscious.
a free action, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I take the, okay, that's what I was asking.
Yep.
So I take that damage, and then make a death saving throw. I don't know where my save there are. Alright. At least I'm not dying.
Cool. And
And
oh, sorry, guys.
was that ongoing was save ends, wasn't it?
The ongoing
the-
is save ends. Correct.
Right, okay. So I do get another save against it, and I still take ongoing. Okay.
I begin my turn in the fire.
You take 10 fire damage.
I take 8 fire damage. Because Akano.
Yep.
Okay, God damn it, Draxon.
It's your fault! What are you talking about? Critting me.
Should have had higher AC than the crit would have confirmed. Okay, I need to get Draxon back on his feet.
No, wait. Default 7 will do it. You just go ahead and attack.
Okay, in that case, ignore the healing infusion. I'm not using it.
Thanks.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm gonna die.
yeah, I'm gonna use it on 5s.
Okay.
Thank God. I don't think Tinker. There we go.
What is God? In any case, yeah,
It's a construct standing on this log here.
I don't have a whole lot else I can do. I can't get out of the fire because no shifting. This thing has threatening reach, and is it dazed? I can't tell with all the icons on it.
It is not dazed, but it has a -4 penalty to attack rolls. So total -2 to attack rolls. It is granted combat advantage, and is bloodied.
Oh, it is bloodied. In that case, yeah, I'm just gonna.
You can actually tell it is very injured.
Okay, I'm just gonna chuck a goddamn magic weapon at it again.
All right.
I'm not going to include the 5 psychic from the punishing eye since that's just gonna get resisted.
And you, of course, are going to use your inevitable strike on this melee attack, right?
Of course I am.
Yeah. It's what I expected,
Why would somebody
right?
not do that?
I don't know. That would just be ridiculous. Because that will actually make you hit. Actually, you hit twice because is that with combat advantage included? The 22 AC?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you will actually hit. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. You will actually hit twice. For 8 plus 8 is 16 points of damage.
Fear my roar.
All right.
What a
anything else?
striker. I'm swooning right now.
Oh shit! That was a really bad idea. That was a really bad idea.
Yeah, well, Big John, you now have +1 to hit, +4 to damage.
No, yeah, +4 to damage. Yeah, that's gonna be my turn.
Do I get the same +1, +4? No, I'm dead, right? Oh.
You
No,
still
right.
get it while you're unconscious, so if you
Yeah,
wake
you
up.
Okay, I was
Back
just
up, you'll
curious,
still
just in
be
case
able
I
to use
get up. Right.
Hey,
Do you want to punch him while he's unconscious?
no, I'm looking at Big John. I might want to knock him out before he knocks me out.
It's your choice.
No,
I
I'll
still
take
got a
the
chance
second.
to shake it at the start of my turn.
Big John, what's your AC look like?
21. one, but I've granted combat advantage from Dominate.
I'll just take the psychic. I'm still not bloodied because I had those temps.
Okay.
We're after the summon.
No, the summon needs to get you up, and I'm going to crit it.
Okay.
I still had temps to burn. I've got... Tinker is amazingly durable for being a leader. Wait, really?
Yes, the summon has more hit points.
All the tokens share the same health. I don't know how to make that different.
Anyone that's in the melee right now, it has more hit points than all of them. I guess technically it doesn't have more hit points than Poe and Charity who are chilling in the back.
I think it's supposed to have half that much.
I know.
Okay.
I know how many hit points it actually has. And
Okay.
it has more hit points currently than anyone in the group has currently.
Look at them all.
The only people who
Well,
don't are
I don't
Poe and
care.
Charity.
Poe,
All right,
your turn.
Poe's your turn.
Alright, so I'm gonna have the Thought Servant attempt a nature check to help
Heal check.
Draxon up.
Nature?
Yeah, no, heal.
Heal,
Heal,
yeah.
monster nature. Well, that's a bust.
I
don't move.
mean, what's your heal? Yeah, it is actually. So that is
You know,
And Poe is so ashamed that he jumps into
Oh,
the
went
water.
away.
that is not how that works, by the way.
no, I
So that
Oh,
should have
start their
actually
turn.
happened at the start
Yeah,
of his turn,
yeah, that's his turn.
which is
That's-
way
I
more
forgot.
useful, but also it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah. So then I guess was I here?
Yes.
Or, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna summon my Ebony Stinger.
I assume you have staff. No, are you? Yeah, I assume you have staff expertise.
Yeah, and I'm gonna spend an action point. No, not action point. Aug point on him. I figured it was better to have his attack on a different macro than just cramming it all in one.
No, it is a good thing. I just mainly was making sure that the stinger had the implement keyword. Is all I was looking for.
And then he will attack the big guy.
Okay.
And I forgot to put him on my token bar.
24 versus reflex will definitely connect for 11 points of damage. And the big thing is not grabbed.
And then it'll be me.
Sports versus apes.
Put a -4. End of the round. Fire. The small fire is going to attempt to get bigger. And it does get bigger. And the large fire, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Large fire is it's gotten to the point where it is a raging fire, and it seems very likely to continue, and it does continue.
Oh, so it's spreading from both the Chasm Whisperer and the original area?
Well, the Chasm Whisperer made a new batch of fire on himself when he
I
did
see.
the blue fire burst. Fives. Welcome to the start of your turn. You take...
Man.
Ugh, man, max damage. That is depressing. 15 points of damage.
Okay. I'm knocked out.
Sorry.
So I guess I just death save?
Yes, unfortunately.
Uh-oh.
One
What's
failed
that
death
like? One
save.
skull?
Big John, I would like for you to go in the back and attack the people that are causing me problems. Actually,
Yeah, fire damage first, and then I get my saving throws, and then I might do that.
well, if you fail the day saving throw, he's going to have you, or Dominic saving throw, he's going to have you charge Poe.
Well, if I'm alive after the fire damage first.
Also true.
Or, well, conscious after the fire damage.
So you're going to take 12 points of damage from fire.
Alright, so minus 12 leaves me at a whopping 1 HP, so if I fail to shake the ongoing psychic, I'm down.
Well, dang, okay.
So, take saving against the ongoing psychic first. Well, I just barely managed to shake that. Let's see if I shake off the Yes.
Excellent.
Haha. And no longer dazed. He's already granting combat advantage. So yeah. We'll move action for unbalancing trick, which lets me shift 2 squares, which difficult terrain's only 1, but at least scoots me a little away. And then we'll use my second backstab.
You are at +1 to hit and +4 to damage.
That's a power bonus from magic weapon for
Correct.
both?
Yes.
Alright, so backstab will supersede the attack bonus. So, yeah. So +5 +4 net. And so it's completely resisting the punishing eye damage, so I shouldn't bother including that? Okay.
Correct. You can't, if you're adding in damage stuff as well, you can't actually add 1d6 into the damage when you do it. It'll work. I'm just letting you know. 36 AC. We'll get the words. Describe your kill. What does it look like as you take out this aboleth monstrosity?
Well, I'm giving it a vicious blow with my staff, square between whatever most closely resembles eyes on this mushy mass.
If you actually look, he actually does have a row of 3 eyes in the center.
So right in the middle.
Poke, poke, poke. There you go. So the 3 eyes in the middle.
Yes, vertical alignment. Okay, so then I get to smack him straight down the line of all 3.
He closes his eyes and does not reopen them.
With my mighty 1 HP.
So
I'm going to drag 5s out of the fire.
the only real question is whether Drax dies from the fire. So the question has to be answered of Charity. Can you find a way to get Drax out of the fire before he dies from it when he starts his turn?
Hypnotism.
Sounds like a plan. And if you hit, you slide him. So
Yeah, with what's my bonus?
Plus 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, then there's the defense penalties. So we've got it.
You
And
can't.
my will's the worst.
You can't. Hypnotism
Why
targets
not?
1 enemy.
I would
Not
be
in my macro.
1 creature.
No, I'm
No, it
looking
is
at
one
it in the
enemy.
compendium. It's 1 enemy.
I macroed it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was 1 creature, it would be the most absurd enabling power in the game.
Well, you still have to actually hit with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't use hypnotism apparently because I need to learn how to macro things.
I would actually be
Uh,
okay with you using hypnotism for the purposes of getting him out of the fire. Like, for the purposes of cheesing it to grant the barbarian extra attacks, no. But in the purposes of dragging someone out of the fire, I would be okay with it.
Okay.
I
So,
just mentioned it because I've been caught on that before.
one thing I do want to see is whether the wildfire gets out of hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's got 1 more roll. And it does. So, the wildfire, the oil slick that was on top of the thing, you're able to get everyone out. What I want you guys to do is, Tinker, take 1 tick of the fire, which is going to be 12 points of fire damage at the start of your turn, and then everyone is out. The top of the river gets completely engulfed in this wave of fire that spreads outward and goes and kind of rampages down the river, lighting the riverbanks on fire. And you can see in the incredible brilliance of the burning river the incredibly weird, stark outlines of black. You have these little fluffy black clouds that are watching from above, silent spectators as the river burns. I imagine you all get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah.
So I'm going to...
Does it seem to burn away the oily nastiness?
It
Or is
doesn't.
it still there?
It doesn't seem to bother the darkness, those little fluffy clouds, but it does burn away a good chunk of the oil. And after about 2 hours, it looks like it. Well, after quite some time, it looks like it starts to burn itself out. Like the fire starts to die down. The jungle is actually relatively resilient to being caught on fire. While there is spots that will definitely burn, there are definitely trees that will burn. The worst parts of the fire seem to be dying off as you guys make your way out of the swamplands and up towards the up to the area where you know the ruins lie. So if you guys want to take a short rest, both in and out of game, I'm going to take a quick minute to go get bathroom and that sort of stuff, and we will start back at 08, whatever time zone you're in, 08.